from and partner with our indigenous communities.
What's going on, everybody? John out here with you. It's a Thursday night, November 30th, 2023. How's everybody doing out there today? Let's get into the starting lineups. Dallas Stars, head coach by Peter DeBoer. It sounds like this: Roope, Hintz, Jason Robertson, Joe Pavelski, Ryan Suter, Miro, Heiskanen, Matt Duchene, Mason Marchment, Tyler Seguin, Asa Lindell, and Yanni Hakanpää. It's Wyatt, Johnston, Benn, Evgeny Dadonov, with Thomas Harley, Niels Lundqvist, Roderick Foxa, Sam Steele, and Craig Smith will be the fourth line defense with Jake Ottinger in goal. And for the Calgary Flames, head coached by Ryan Huska, they're 9-10-3 on the season. Sounds like this: Elias, Andrew Mangiapane, Yegor, Sharangovich, with MacKenzie, Weegar, and Rasmus Andersson. It's Nazem, Kadri, Connor Zary, Martin Pospisil, Noah Hannafin, and Chris Tanev, Mikael Backlund, Jonathan Huberdeau, and Blake Coleman, Adam Ruzicka, AJ Greer, and Dylan Dubé, with Dennis Gilbert, Jordan Osterley, and Jacob Markstrom will be in net today. It's Hockey Fights Cancer Night at the Scotiabank Settle Dome, so it's a touching scene right now as we got everybody out on the ice with their cards and the lights flashing in the air with the phones. It's always a good sight to see on that end. We have a lot to do today. I believe Cooper Hopkins is going to be joining me for this one, and if it is, we will get into the situation with the late-breaking trade alert for Nikita Zadorov on that side, and then also talk about the Patrick Kane signing for the Red Wings and the first intermission. So here's the deal. For the Dallas Stars, they're 13-5-2 on the season. Again, on the road, they are 8-1-1. That's where they are right now in Calgary. Their last matchup, they were able to get a first victory. Dallas was in the first meeting of the season, but it's the third meeting of the month. They're coming off a 2-0 victory in a shutout over Winnipeg, but they got smacked up in the last time against Calgary. They lost 7-4. You know, from last year, both of these teams love to score goals against each other. It's 1-1 in the season series. It was a 4-3 victory for Dallas on November 1st, but then that big smackdown that Calgary laid against them. Calgary is also doing pretty decent. I know what the record says at 9-10-3, but they're playing well of late, 5-2-1 in the last stretch of games, coming off a 2-1 victory, a MacKenzie Weegar game winner over Vegas on that side. So Calgary's played pretty well of late on that end. Dallas is continuing to roll, especially on the road, so we will see what gives. Again, as we've noticed through this matchup over the last couple of years, especially in the postseason, when you have Jacob Markstrom and Jake Ottinger on both sides, you have good goaltenders, and we should have that, even though we expect a lot of goals to be scored today. Cooper Hopkins is in here, so I know we will talk about the Nikita Zadorov trade. We'll talk about the Patrick Kane stuff in the first intermission. There's a lot to do, but this is going to be a big game. Again, Calgary coming off a huge win over Vegas. Can they continue this against Dallas? I think this is going to be their third and final meeting of the season. What's going on, my friend?
John, I say this every time we start a broadcast. Always a joy to hear your voice, my friend. Thank you for having me alongside. I'm in the sidecar. I'm riding with you tonight in a big matchup for these Flames. It's an interesting night. We have lots and lots to talk about, as you alluded to in your tweet advertising our coverage of this NHL contest. I won't give anything away. I don't want to kill our topics for intermissions. I know we'll get into details, but roster looks a little different for these Calgary Flames tonight. Dallas coming in a very solid 13-5-2. Calgary just trying to get to 500 right now and just sitting on the outside of that wild card. You know, we're into the season now. This is going to be a big matchup, as you just said, and I'm excited to be alongside you.
Me too, man. It's been a lot of fun doing these broadcasts. I know it's been a while since we hooked up and did one of these, but honestly, I think you and I can look at it and say, Calgary Flames, we know what the record is what you just alluded to, but honestly, they've been hanging in top over the last few games. They have a good stretch over the last 5 or 6.
Yeah, you're right. And anytime you beat a team like Vegas, the defending Cup champs, and who look like they want to go on another run, that's a big win. And to go into their barn and do it, and with the pressure of overtime.
Yeah.
And then you have the gift of facing one of the top goalies in the league. But what's interesting here, John, is this is news to me. You might have already touched on this. Looks like Ottinger's going to get a little rest tonight in Wedgwood. Big 41 in the crease for the visiting Stars tonight.
Wow, I did not touch on that, actually. Scott Wedgwood, is that a break for the Flames? I understand how good Dallas can be, but they're not coming off any sort of back-to-backs, but they're going to give Jake some rest, it looks like.
Yes, indeed. So it changes the narrative here a little bit. Look, Wedgwood no slouch, but
no.
you have obvious starter in net for the Flames in Marchment. And Wedgwood, who's got some solid experience. He has a 3.02 goals against so far this season. But yeah, definitely changes what we're going to be seeing tonight. Maybe the Flames can take advantage.
Hey, we know what happened from last year. Didn't you have some heart in your throat moments? Every time these two teams played against each other, it seemed like the Calgary Flames could score 6 or 7, but they'd give up 6 of their own.
Yeah, really since that COVID bubble run.
Yeah.
These teams had that heck of a matchup in that series. And I wouldn't call them direct rivals, but you're right, John. There's something exciting every time they meet. We're about to drop the puck here. Take it away.
So we'll see what happens now. We're at the Scotiabank Saddledome. I got Cooper Hopkins along with me. I couldn't be more excited because this is a matchup we've done a few times. Also done this in the playoffs as well. So we have the TELUS Flames hockey feed on ESPN Plus. They got all that stuff renewed, so we are ready to go. Roope Hintz trying to get around Noah Hanifin, and this will be picked up by the Flames in their own end. Yegor Sharangovich trying to pry it loose as well, as Dallas will flip this one back to Jacob Marchment. It'll be Noah Hanifin, number 55. We'll use this off the glass, trying to find Mangiapane, but he'll have to spin back. And Hockenpop will go ahead and recollect this up the backhand. Again, it was news to both of us on that side. Scott Wedgwood is going to tend the crease today. Back pass, Jonathan Huberdeau, able to get a piece of it. Now Coleman's out there. Again, Huberdeau spending his time on the third line, but it's been a steady improvement as Backlund tried to send a pass across, and this one gets blocked. Again, the plus-minus has been going in the right direction and starting to get some points. So you got to find a home wherever you can on the line and continue because, again, as we talk about the contracts, it's important to get production. This goes in between the skate blades a couple times, and Calgary now will pick this up and across the red line and fire it in. Wedgwood will put it with the goal stick as Hockenpop will make a pass. Stick lifted just barely. Calgary able to brush this in off the backhand. Nothing doing really right now early in this first period. A lot of neutral zone play and just fumbling of the puck here, trying to play some defense and get it pried loose. It'll fall back to Wedgwood here. We'll go ahead and send it around for Hockenpop one more time as Evgeny Dadonov almost loses it, but he's able to throw it back to D off the stretch pass. It'll be Dennis Gilbert right in off the window in Dallas. They're already near the line change. They'll go ahead and take some as Gilbert momentarily falls down, but he's okay. He's over there by himself. He'll make an outstretched pass from 100 feet. This will be sent down the ice. Will be iced against the Flames.
Yeah, John, you said it well, and we've seen this. I mean, listen, when you cover as much NHL hockey as you do, you know this, and we've done so many games together. Yeah, sometimes you got a feeling out period. It looks like these teams just settling in right now to start.
That's what we got right now. Again, you have Peter DeBoer and Ryan Huska on that side in between the new bench bosses over the last couple of seasons here. We'll see what their teams continue to do. Again, for the Central and the Dallas Stars, they have to contend with the Colorado Avalanche, who all of a sudden are starting to look like the Avalanche again. No surprise. As a backhand pass for Jason Robertson. We'll go back around the end boards now. Dylan Dubé take a couple chops at it. Dallas will find an entry. See who gets the first shot on goal. Not Dallas. They go off sides.
Yeah, and just a familiar narrative here that might crop up for us with the Flames. You know, just a couple shots now, nothing dangerous for the Stars, but no shots for the Flames. I'm sure they'd love to get a clean entry and just put together a little offense to get themselves warmed up on that end.
Yes, they would. And I'm looking at some of the numbers here for Dallas, Cooper, on this side. Joe Pavelski still leads the team. He's got 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points. No surprise?
Yeah, no surprise to me. I mean, I think that you're going to see Robertson warm up. There's just too much talent there. But, you know, the Stars team, a little Kraken-esque, at least from last year.
Yeah.
Kraken, of course, struggling a bit to start. They look to score from all their lines and get contributions from everywhere.
I got to tell you, as we get back underneath the action here, I know goalies need a day off, but I am very surprised to see Jake Ottinger chewing on that gum. Wedgwood, we'll see how much kind of work he gets. It's Radek Faksa. We'll flip this back to the defensive side. A little bit too far for Craig Smith, the former Predator, as this will be touched by the goal stick. Jacob Markstrom. I think the pass back from Chris Tannen to Noah Hanifin, as this is sent back down the ice again. Again, Calgary coming off a 2-1 overtime win over the Golden Knights on Monday. MacKenzie Weegar pretty much got a buzzer beater, and that was an absolutely electric goal racing down the right wing. And across the Flaming Sea, it's Smith. I thought he was going to elect the shoot it, going to leave for Miro Heiskanen. This gets blocked, centered out in front of Markstrom, and he's going to fall on it. Finally gets to touch the puck.
Wow, John, that's an interesting play right there. Just a fluttering puck goes off of a thigh right there, falls right near the blue paint. Markstrom has to track that thing as it bounces around, just pinballing and could have easily gone in. Looks like he made a right toe save as well before covering up with the trapper.
It's a good job by Calgary nonetheless. Sam Steele was right on the doorstep, and Weegar and Andersson kind of boxed him in to make sure he couldn't get any rebounds.
Yeah, absolutely here, and we'll see if the Flames can turn things around, try to tilt the ice in their favor. Still not much offense to speak of.
Long outstretched pass. It's a good bounce for Coleman, and the captaincy, Mikael Backlund, will flip this around. Good interception there by the Dallas defense as they'll try to push this into out of their own end with a long foot. Able to stay on sides was Mason Marchment somehow, and this will be in the defensive end of the Calgary Flames as they'll look to push right to left now, and Jonathan Huberdeau. Listen on the left wing side. There's a back pass for cutting on the other side for Coleman. That's a little bit too far. Must be picked up here for Hannafin. We'll go ahead and recollect in his own end alongside Christopher Tanev. Again, Tanev is back. Again, he took a puck to the face a few games ago. He's been an absolute warrior blocking shots. Again, if you already losing Zadorov and you lost Tanev, I think that would be pretty much a disaster for the Flames. It's 2-on-2 the other way. Mangiapane, good work. Try to protect with the body centered out in front, and this one will get cleaned up by Dallas. Played in off the skate blades as it's Jamie Benn. Full spin. Dallas captaincy has it now. Yanni Hockenpah will spin this back around the end boards. Be an opportunity as Sharangovich gets stick lifted. About 15:45 left to go in this quiet first period. I think that's saying it nicely here. 4 shots on goal to nothing in favor of Dallas, but again, just one really dangerous chance. Joe Pop got it now, and they'll send this one across for Hockenpah. Play this in off the backhand, and Calgary able to get this out of their own end with AJ Greer, and this will get across the Flaming Sea. It'll be bounced off a couple bodies. Now Lindell will play a stretch pass. This is picked off. Calgary's got something wide open. Coleman, and that's a 5-hole save by Wedgwood. First shot of the game there for the Flames. It was a good one. Here come Dallas off the rush. Robertson half-spin setup. It's off the top of the bar and in, and that was as quick as it could be.
Wow, John, that's a quick turnaround right there. Boy, the irony, the Flames really get their first clean offensive chance, and a nice right pad save by Wedgwood, kicks it right out to his own team. They go the other way. Bang, bang, boom. Pavelski with the apple, and that is a goal. Clean shot, top shelf. It is 1-0. Dallas in the lead. 15:09 on the clock. Boy, Flames just a one shot in 5 minutes.
That's a sick backhanded setup there for Joe Pavelski. And if you had Thomas Harley on your bingo card, go ahead and give yourself a golf clap, because a third-line defenseman, you wouldn't expect him to get wide open in the middle of a slot for a shot. But as it is, it's 1-0 Dallas. And this will be picked up by the Calgary defense. And they'll look to start again. This goes a little bit too far off the skate of AJ Greer. Bounced off a couple bodies of the Flaming Sea and Adam Ruzicka and Dylan Dubé. Settle it down. So 4th-line forwards, 3rd-line defense out there right now. Adam Ruzicka a little bit too long off the outstretched stick. Hockenpah lost it as it's 14:35 left to go in the first round here alongside Cooper Hopkins between play-by-play and color, but we can definitely switch off. It's a 5-1 shot advantage for Dallas. They've just scored with a Harley chance. Shoot in the middle for Sam Steele. Rebound opportunity blocked by Calgary. See if they can push the other way. A little one-on-one. Connor Zary, what's he going to do here? Tries to go between his legs. He tried to make a play 5-hole, and Wedgwood had to make a save. Like to see the skating there from Zary as this is picked up and sent down the ice. What'd you think about that one, Cooper?
Well, if I don't have flashes of Johnny Gaudreau in my mind, my friend, I've seen a couple of former Flames make that move before. We've seen Matthew Tkachuk do that here at the Saddle Dome. And old number 13, he scored several that way. I like Connor Zary with the confidence. Just the second shot for the Flames, but that was a pretty one. And maybe it'll bring this home crowd back into this contest.
That was kind of a windmill move, and then he worked his way to the right side post, but Wedgwood closed at 5-hole. But as Cooper said, I love the confidence too, be able to make that on a one-on-one. That's going to give you some more ice time. And Mangiapane, did he hit the top of the left crossbar off a tip? As this is sent around now, Flames have it. Tanev, Lindholm with the rocket. This one gets saved by the stick of Wedgwood. The foot back down. Mangiapane trying to locate it. Lindell will go ahead and pick it up off the backhand. Play to the stick, and this will be blown dead of the high stick. 13:44.
Yeah, you might have said it, John, as we hit our first media timeout here. Going to get some commercials so we can chat. But, boy, Mangiapane in the high slot got a nice angled pass that came right through untouched. on the ice to the blade of his stick, flicks that thing up into the air, and bing, off the crossbar it goes, just about 2 inches high from tying this game at 1 apiece. But you were right. I love the way you said it. You had not Joel Hanley, but Thomas Harley.
Yes.
Hanley and Harley, those D-men for the Stars. It's Harley, big 5'5". Man, he looked like a sniper on that one. That's why we're sitting at 1-0 Dallas.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that. Let me make sure I go ahead and give you some shout-outs on this side because, again, I know if you had Prime Video, you'd probably be following along with this, but you were nice enough to join me here. Dallas Cowboys hold on to a field goal lead at 17-14 with the ball against the Seahawks. It's 8:24 in the second, so we'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah, no, thanks for the shout out. I will admit I was keeping an eye on that game before I switched over to my beloved Flames and this broadcast with you. And yeah, you know what? Normally Jason Myers, kicker for the Seahawks, pretty reliable, but he missed one wide right. Otherwise, that game would be tied. And like I said, Mangiapane was close to tying the one that we are covering here, John. And then there's so much football, so much going on in my
I know.
The Pac-12 championship between number 3 Washington, my alma mater, and the number 5 Oregon Ducks. Lots to talk about, so we can jump it back and forth between sports. But you know what? I want to ask you just selfishly. And I see your coverage, and I follow along like a true fan. But tell me a little bit about how things are going for you with those Waterford Sharks. It sounds like your role there is expanding, and they're keeping you busy.
Yeah, they're keeping me busy with a few press releases here. I've kind of become a spokesperson for the team, but they still allow me to tell the game like it is during the play-by-play, just like the broadcast with you. So I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah, man, I just want to give you a shout-out there. I mean, we can also talk about the coverage you have coming up. I'm really proud of you and keeping the work, the flow. It's just you're in the flow. Why stop it? Just keep that river running.
That's what I'm trying to do throughout the week, to use assignments to keep ourselves sharp and have fun, and they continue going along. So let's continue through this first period, and we'll continue to also talk about some of the other sports that are going on, because Cooper's got a lot on his plate as well. I want to get into that Pac-12 championship game, as this is bounced up into the area on a Hockenpah near the right side boards. And this will be an opportunity now. Suter gets it knocked away from him. Calgary did have a little bit of an answer there, as at the top of the right crossbar for deflection. They will get an icing here against Dallas.
Yeah, no, John, I know we've touched on that a couple of times, and it's worth not just mentioning, how that unfolded, an unfortunate miss for Mangiapane by an inch or two. But you know what? It is unfortunate also broadly that it just took the Flames getting scored against to kind of wake them up. They seem to be in the game a bit more, but they're down here.
Yeah, and again, for a team like Dallas, I don't care if Scott Wedgwood's in the net or not. Cooper said it best. I mean, he's no slouch on that side. And with Dallas, what they can do with the elite defensive pieces, Miro, Heiskanen, and some of the forwards there, you can't put yourself behind the 8 ball too much. What can Connor Zary do again? That's what I want to know as Nazem Kadri. We'll get this off the backhand. Jimmy Benn, here's a nice fluttering pass. Wyatt Johnston, the right side, he'll just try to look for a deflection opportunity. That was a pretty good play there from the youngster, now 20 years old, Wyatt Johnston, as Dennis Gilbert down the left wing side. He's going to get his space and take the 5-hole chance. It'll be saved there by Wedgwood. Picked up now at the blocker, and it's Kadri trying to keep it alive off the backhand and send it in deep. Martin Pospisil trying to deliver a hit. And this will go the other way for Benn. Here's an outstretched pass. That was a good design there. He almost sprung Evgeny Dodonov. But Jacob Marchment settle it back down with Dennis Gilbert. So now with Dennis Gilbert on the third line side, maybe getting some more extended ice time. We'll see how that continues for the Flames. As Mangiapane now racing down the left wing, holding off the forehand, still with it. Try to chip it ahead. Flames send it out front, and they score! Chris Tanev!
It is all about the defense tonight, John, and it's Tanev taking up the role that his former teammate Nikita Zadorov normally would take. The man who loved to moonlight as a forward, Chris Tanev pitching in from the blue line, picks up that puck that was left for him, throws it in front. That goes off a skate and in under Wedgwood. And you know what? Tons of credit to number 88,
Absolutely.
the red man for the Flames. Mangiapane starts that entire play by keeping his feet moving, driving the left wing, cutting around the cage, and getting Tanev involved. That was beautiful.
Beautifully said. That's exactly where I was going to go with it on that. It doesn't start there unless you get Mangiapane around the net, keeping the puck alive, making something happen. Yes, you get a bounce off a skate. That's the way it works, though. Calgary worked hard to get that goal, and they've tied this game at 1. 11:50 left to go in the first. The shots are now even at 5. And we got a brand new hockey game, although it was still early to begin with. Pavelski will settle it down. He'll just slowly put this in behind the cage. And now Dallas trying to have that same type of yeoman shift as Robo will flip it around. But here's Tanev. We'll try to get rid of it as Robo will pick it up off the forehand. And now Dallas into the right side of the wall. It'll be Mangiapane, who just got a primary assist. We'll flip this one down and take his change for Ryan Huska's squad. It's MacKenzie Weegar. Now for Rasmus Andersson on the right wing side. Just eludes a player making a change at the door as it's AJ Greer now on the left side of the red line. It's loose out in front. Good stick chop. Can Calgary get a piece of this? Pospisil just trying to use his body to shield the puck. Be an opportunity for Sam Steele. Holding off the back skate in that L2 as it's Dubé. He's under duress here, but he nicely plays it off the backhand. There's a rush, a 3-on-2. AJ Greer drop pass. Oh, that was beautifully set up there, but Dubé couldn't get a stick on it. Could have been 2-1 Calgary. And now it's Smith for Yanni Hakanpää across the red line. And now MacKenzie Weegar will settle it down from Jacob Marchment play as this is played in between some skates and blades. Good work by Coleman. Coleman now still trying to get to the defense. He gets in the offensive zone and bounces off a body. It's from Mangiapane and Gilbert, primary and secondary assists on that side from the Tanev goal. This is flipped, can't be held by Calgary at the line, and now it'll be Jonathan Huberdeau across the flame. And see, here's a soft backhand pass to Jordan Osterley. His chance will get blocked and sent back around the end boards now as good pressure, good forecheck for Calgary, as this is recollected for Matt Duchene, former Colorado Avalanche, Nashville Predator, everything. Can't believe he's on Dallas on this side as it falls to Marchment. He makes a save.
Yeah, John, this is a better second 5 minutes for the Flames, even than I was expecting. They let the crowd kind of deflate there when they gave up the first goal. Dallas takes that early 1-0 lead, and then Mangiapane, who's looked like the best Flame so far, he has that nice push, gets Tanev involved. Tanev with a bit of a bounce, but that's how they go sometimes. Increasing the goals count too, and it's 1-1. And then Dubé on the doorstep there, as you so accurately called, could have been 2-1. But this Flames game now is a little more even here. It's starting to turn into a good one.
Yes, it is. It's kind of what we were thinking was going to happen on this side between two teams that love to score against each other. Here's a slap shot way wide for Suter as this is picked up near the right side boards. And all of a sudden now you get that goal. No surprise, Cooper, that the puck entries get a little bit more crisp, clean, and fast as this is center on the other way for Noah Hannafin. We'll put this wide one in the window. Mangiapane tries to set this one up in between the legs. Number 88's look pretty good right now. It's flipped around for number 55, Noah Hannafin. This goes a little wide. Calgary keeps it in. Here comes the bomb for Lindholm. Good left pad save there for Wedgwood. Glove down by Hannafin. Can he hold it in? And this goes across the red line now. Got to be careful here. Dallas has the puck. They want to make sure you get a penalty against Jamie Benn off of a stick lift as it's picked up by Dallas. It's Hakanpää. Into the traffic. It gets blocked nicely there by Mangiapane. Boy, has he been everywhere. Wyatt Johnston on a defensive side. This will go for Evgeny Dadonov. He's patient near the right circle. Little crisscross. Jamie Benn. All of a sudden, Dallas trying to work this like a power play, even though it's even strength. Hakanpää slows it down. Slow deflection. And this will be picked up by the Flames. Mangiapane off the back skate. Trying to make a play to his knees. Actually gets us to the left side wall for Sharangovich. And Dallas will intercept. 40 left to go in the first. Good advance there for Calgary. Forced to steal. Weegar right down the right wing side for Connor Zary. Slows up. Here's a pass right in the blue line. Won't get into a slap shot. That one goes high off the glass. That had to have been at 90 miles an hour. This goes across the flaming sea. Good shot there again for the Flames. Zary has it. It's going to find the entry again. Nice move for Zary. Windmill. Oh, off the post. What's going to happen now as this goes near the right side? My goodness, Connor Zary with the moves as it's Weegar. As this goes across the red line now. Weegar settles it down. Gets the zone. The crowd's still buzzing. Kadri as this goes down the middle. Now a rush for the Stars the other way as this goes near the right side line for Sam Steele. MacKenzie Weegar settles it back down. Good backhanded play for Greer. Ruzicka now in full flight, but a good lift as Smith tries to send it the other way for the Stars. Good save there with the shaft of the stick for Markstrom. And behind the cage, though, Dallas looking dangerous as this goes for Miro Heiskanen. Here's a good outstretched pass. Gets blocked near the left side dot. It'll be Dubé off the chop. He's got to get around 2 stars. He cannot. As he gets across the red line now, Roddick Faksa will get it in deep as it's blown dead with 7:25. My goodness, Connor Zeri's taking me out of my seat, Cooper.
Well, if there's anybody left doubting that Connor Zeri is a real deal NHLer, I think he is erasing those doubts right now. That is some kind of play. And that's not only his first of the game, not only his first of the period. He is dancing past this Dallas defense repeatedly and looking really good doing it. And this is not a slight. I don't mean to disparage him right now. He looks like a slightly slower Johnny Gaudreau out there. He's got the handles and he's got the foot speed. And listen, who's going to catch up to the agility of number 13? We'll always marvel at the speed of Johnny Gaudreau. But you know what? The Flames may have something in Connor Zeri here, John.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing because we said it's the one-on-one ability to make a move and try to make a play. And hell, he beat 2 defenders there near the left side post. He sent it off the back end post. And if it wasn't for a couple late arriving Dallas Stars right pretty much at the line, Nazem Kadri would have had a tap-in goal. So 7:25 left to go in the first. We got a commercial break, and it's a 1-1 tie.
Yeah, and I love what you were saying there, finishing up on Zeri. He's not only making these moves, not just to flash, right? He's not just going flash and dash for its own sake. He is stepping in when he knows he has the time and space to do it. And he has been right on the doorstep, just inches away there on that last attempt. That's also got to lift your teammates as well. When they see a youngster like that really making a push, some of these veteran guys, they're going to make that push as well because they know they can. And I think that's part of the reason why you saw what Mangiapane did, busting in on that left wing. And boy, a couple of Flames have really stood out to me here, John. I love Noah Hannafin so far. Also, Lindholm has looked good, but the young man, Zeri, leading the way.
Yes, it has. I know you said you had your heart in your throat with the Apple Cup between Washington and Washington State. Right now, I'm looking at the spread, and Oregon's favored by 10. Is that too much?
You know what? I will get into a couple of points on that. I do think it's too much just in terms of the line, and I'll tell you why when we have a little bit more space. I know we're about to jump back in here in this first period.
Okay, because I do want to get into that. Then we do have Flames trade and the Red Wings news on that side alongside our scoreboard. So there's a lot to do. So I'm going to try to hit it all since I got Cooper Hopkins here with me. As this is flipped in, Tyler Seguin will give chase. It almost looks like he's at the end of a shift, honestly. We just had the commercial break as this is flipped in. Wedgwood will take a look at it near the left side of the post, Jonathan Huberdeau. Go ahead and try to find it with Michael Backlund, the newly minted captaincy for the Calgary Flames, and I will never get tired of saying that. As this is flipped down the ice, Tanev will go ahead and play a rolling puck as it's not blown dead. The shots are 6-6, and the score is 1-1. It's been a pretty even contest across the board. And Connor Zeri and Andrew Mangiapane honestly might have been the 2 best players on the ice right now. That is absolutely what I'm seeing as this is flipped in. Around the end boards, played off the backhand, and Calgary was there to clean up any mess in front of Jacob Marchment, Yegor Sharangovich, as this is dumped in there by Mangiapane. And now Harley, who had the first goal of the game, again, you couldn't really have expected that. We'll get this one down across a long outstretched pass, be a one-on-one. Marchment will just go ahead and brush it ahead off the right side wall, now into the neutral zone. Sharangovich will gain the entry with the flip. About 6 minutes left to go in the first, and we're tied at 1. Robos, long outstretched pass, will find Rasmus Andersson and MacKenzie Weegar. Here's an opportunity now. Kadri finds the space, sends a pass across, Pospisil from a sharp angle, and this bounces out in front to number 16, Joe Pavelski. As this is in across the red line now and gain the entry here for Dallas. Rasmus Andersson, MacKenzie Weegar try to brush this near the wall. Pospisil, he's got that body. He has some speed and physicality as well, but with the concussion issues, probably not going to see him throw many bombs, but he definitely will throw his weight around on the hits. As this is chipped in across the right side wall. It'll be Tanev off there. Cheeky little drop pass. Got to be careful here. Markstrom will just snag it and hold on.
Boy, Marchment looking like a first baseman right there, really stretching out, almost like he was keeping a foot on the bag. 1 foot in the crease, 1 foot out, stretches that left arm forward, snatches it with the trapper, brings play to a stop. as we hit the commercial. And so, John, I know I don't want to take away from what we could cover in intermission, but since we are covering a hockey game, I'll just give you my brief thoughts on this Pac-12 championship.
Sure.
So listen, as any college football fan knows, Oregon has looked excellent, especially over the last month, 6 weeks. You could argue the entire season. They're 11-1. Guess where that one came from? That came from the Washington Huskies. I don't want to say I'm surprised by the line that I believe it started at 9.5, and now it's moved up to 10-point favorites for the Ducks. Here's something to note about Washington. Obviously, yes, they are 12-0. 150 potential seasons in this era of the Pac-12, right? Way back when it was the Pac-8, then the Pac-10. 13 years of the Pac-12. So if you do the math, 13 years, 12 teams in the conference, 13 times. So okay, it's 150 regular seasons that could have been perfect. Only one. This year's Washington Huskies were able to do it in a year that's arguably the most impressive in the history of the conference, just in terms of overall competitiveness. So 1 out of 150. Now, that's great. That's all well and good, but the games have been close, right? All of it. Huskies don't blow out teams they should, et cetera, et cetera. That's true. Now, let me come at it from, maybe this is a little bit rose-colored glasses. You can tell me, Joe. The Huskies come at this thing. They have been playing to the level of their opponent at the time they played that opponent, and then one notch above. They play USC. USC at the time, high-scoring offense, poor defense. They go to the Coliseum, 52 points in that game, 42 for USC. That game was close until 4 minutes to go, right? Arizona State in Seattle, very poor offensive team. Guess what? Huskies play very poor offense, but they pull it out with their defense. I think tomorrow you will see the Huskies do it again. They'll play to the level of their opponent. The only question, can they get that notch above? I think that's what we have to watch for.
I think that's what I've been seeing as well, following along the score lines from afar with the lenses on the outscope. And I hope that's the case, because it certainly seems like if Michigan holds on against Iowa, it looks like the Wolverines and the Huskies might be playing each other in that playoff.
Oh my, we would have so much to talk about, my friend. Is it a dream matchup or a nightmare matchup? We'll have to decide if it happens.
I think it might be a nightmare matchup for the Wolverines, to be honest, because the Washington offense looks to have a little bit more. I understand the win against Ohio State, but when Michigan plays in the championship games, they kind of lay some eggs, but some of these teams are very, very good, so that is understandable. So all that matters now is if Washington takes care of their business on Friday, and hopefully Cooper doesn't have to sweat too much. That's what I hope for, at least. And let's get a Flames victory as well. Why not? As this is flipped in. 5 minutes left to go in this first. It's tied at 1. And I can't say where his allegiances are going to lie, because I know it's going to be with the alma mater first and foremost, because that game is fundamentally important. 4:45 left to go in the first, and across the red line now, Flames will use this across the wall, and this will be sent in, Dallas. And we'll chip this out of their zone, as this will just be intercepted here. Huberdeau got a chance off the rush, makes the pass across, backhand, goes off the post, Flames score!
It is only defense tonight, John. 3 goals in this game, all by blue liners. Big number 55 in red. Noah Hannafin steps in to finish here. Boy, Huberdeau, this is what we were hoping to see. All Flames fans, we wanted to see that confidence from one of the most silky-mitted men in hockey. This is Huberdeau at his finest. Sends a backhand pass across, then Backlund flutters one to the net. That bounces off a body. Might have been Robo in front. Hannafin cleans it up on their 8th shot. Flames take the lead 2-1.
Will this be the second time? Yeah, it bounced off a Dallas Star, the second time that the Flames get a bounce off of their opponent, but that was a good hand-eye deflection out of the air. Flames will take it, Cooper, and they got a 2-1 lead.
Yes, they certainly do, and they just have to hang on here. I don't want to let Dallas answer right away. Just about 4 minutes to go here in the first. We'll see how the Flames can lock things down. Try to maybe pad this before they go to the room. Speaking
of a chance to lock it down, it was Marchment out in front that had to make a save. Again, the 3 defensemen with goals. Again, that's the trifecta, honestly, right now, as this is Lindholm in between the legs, and this will be Pospisil that'll flip it out. Honestly, the Flames have played a very strong game, and Dallas, they've had a couple chances here, but you would expect them to push, especially getting into the second period, but if not, as Cooper said, toward the end of this first, try to tie it up. They're too good to not do so. as this is near the right side boards, trying to sell a trip but not going to buy one. As this is sent around the inboards now. Good block for Weegar. Marchment has to take a look. He was checking up in the air to see where the puck was. And now Miro Heiskanen, he won't press. He'll be the last line of defense to keep it in. Heiskanen now got to watch for his speed. This gets blocked. Marchment will just knock it away with the goal stick. Huge hit on the other end. Took down one of the Flames as we're still playing here. And now 3:18, we get a stoppage.
Wow, John, yeah, that Flame on the wrong end of the hit was Rasmus Andersson, who's not the biggest of defenders. But just prior to that, Marchment, I don't even think he realized he makes the save, but a fluttering puck bounces off the edge of his blocker, goes to the corner. That's where Andersson got blasted. Legal hit, and I think because his legs were flailing, it looked a little more serious than it was. He popped right back up, but that was Dallas putting a little physicality into the mix here.
So this will get thrown into the crowd, and we will do it again. So we've seen the physicality turn up. We've seen a pretty good game so far, Cooper, between both of these teams.
Yes, we have. Going to be a face-off here at center ice because of where the puck was sent out of play. And just a little bit of time here left in the first. The Flames are going to get whistled out of this thing. But, John, yeah, there's lots to talk about. Flames have turned it up over the second half of this first period.
Yeah, it's been good to see because, again, as we said, going into it, Dallas is 8-1-1 as far as their road record. So they've absolutely dominated on that side. And Calgary just trying to continue, work their way to get above 500. Again, they've been playing better of late. And, again, we can talk about some of the stuff in the Pacific part of the standings. Calgary's doing themselves a service here. If they can continue to stick around and slowly move up, they can find their way into a playoff spot. I understand we're not even in December yet, but you don't want to bury yourself either, and they haven't done that. As Harley will put this around the inboards, Dallas quickly pushing this the other way. Nils Lundqvist, he's going to take a blocker save there for Marchment. In the left side post, it's loose in front of the backhand, and a good stick lift. It'll be A.J. Greer. It's a 3-on-3. Greer going to take a shot, and Wedgwood, that was a little bit nonchalant with the glove, but he makes the save anyway. 3-on-2 rush the other way for the Stars, and it's offsides.
Yeah, John, I'm seeing some success here for the Flames coming up the left wing on these near boards for us as the Flames move right to left in this first period. And that's a shot from Greer. Handcuffed Wedgwood a little bit. That puck sat up on a tee right out in the crease. There was just no Flame to finish.
Do you think off of these one-on-one entries that we're getting that Dallas needs to play a little bit tighter here? Because it seems like the Flames are getting their one-on-ones and taking their shots, Cooper.
Well, I think it's going to be something they talked about at intermission. They haven't been necessarily playing loose by any stretch, but it's all you need in the NHL for any of these guys. It's just half a step.
Sure.
And they have been giving the Flames just enough room. If that's going to be the weak spot, they do have to shore that up for sure.
So 2:28 left. Again, the Flames feed keeps showing Jake Ottinger on that side, chewing on that gum. And again, he's got the baseball cap on. He's getting the day off here. It's Wedgwood's crease today, as this is in across the red line. And Elias Lindholm in between three Stars. Flames will win this puck. See what they can do here near the right side of the blue line. They'll flip it in. Again, they won 7-4 November 24th against the Servant Shield 4-3 after 2 periods. Again, this is a third meeting of the month between these teams, and it's all said and done after this because they're in opposite sides of the bracket, west on west though. Robertson, nice move on the middle. I thought he would take a shot. He's going to like to pass it instead. Flames can't get anything going right now because they lost it in between some skate blades. If I'm Robo, I'm just getting in the middle of that slot and shooting next time, as this is picked up off the backhand. Robertson will settle it back down. He'll take the slap shot now. This one goes way wide. This will be an opportunity for Huberdeau to try to get this one out. Robertson will pick it up again. Flames have it. Nobody's in their face. MacKenzie Weegar can do whatever he wants here. Here's a long outstretch pass. Backlund try to find his line mate, but pass a little bit contested as Robertson. Seguin, full flight. Seguin down the middle. Good move. And this is hit out of the air off the post, and Heiskanen shoots it wide. That looked like a chance that materialized out of nothing. Dallas now looking for a deflection as this is near the left side wall. All of a sudden now in the final minute, got to be careful here. Heiskanen, this is a ripper, and Marchment saw it somehow and makes the save.
Yeah, here comes the most obvious pun in the world when you're talking about Calgary, but the Flames played with fire right there with very little time left in the first period. And boy, I think one of those shots snuck behind Marchment, came off the post, and then Heiskanen almost finished one that was out in front in the circle. And John, I think you're going to have it might be a little ahead of you here. There's something going on with Dallas.
All right, I'll keep in mind that with the Cooper vision giving me a march ahead. Heiskanen tip, rebound in front, and a score! Off the face-off win. It's a tie game, Mason Marchment.
Yes, it is. I hope I didn't steal your thunder there. I was the prognosticator on that one. And the Flames, the victim of the hockey gods this time, they've gotten a few in their favor. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about bouncing pucks. That one sent in from the point, bounces off the skate. I think it was off of Seguin, goes from Marchment's left to right, and that one is finished by Marchment with no doubt. And exactly 1 minute left on the clock here, John, in the first, tied at 2.
We just talked about how big that's going to be. I'll double down here. That's a gigantic goal for the Dallas Stars. Not completely deflating for Calgary, but you feel like they should have the lead the way that they played. You wanted to hold that in, but 2-2 right now under the final minute of the first. Dare we say, though, this has been a heck of an entertaining contest so far. This really does feel like a playoff game, honestly, with the amount of offense that we could see. And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. Mason Marchment with his fifth at 18:58 from Seguin, and Heiskanen as it's Nazem Kadri off the backhand. Now Pospisil is being held near the left side boards. It's knocked down, actually, and Rasmus Andersson will send this back around the boards. Kadri trying to pry it loose. He might be a little bit invigorated playing on that second line with Zeri and Pospisil, Nazem Kadri. I've seen him percolate a little bit. As 15 seconds left to go, and the first shots on goal are 10-9, but it's a 2-2 tie. This bounces in off MacKenzie, Weegar, Jacob Markstrom put this high off the end glass. Mangiapane, one more rush if he can do so, gain the red line. That is going to end the first period. It's a 2-2 tie.
Yep, John, you said it. Huge goal right there, and doesn't bode well if you are a fan of the team wearing red. That was an interesting first period. A lot of changes in momentum. The Flames held that momentum for a good stretch. But you know what? This is the Dallas Stars. They are a top team in this league in a couple of shifts. Sometimes one shift is all it takes just to tip those tables in their favor. That's what they did. They just buzzed. It wasn't even an extended period that they were buzzing in the O-zone. And John, Heiskanen almost finishes. They get an unlucky bounce and then turn around. The very next shift, they get a lucky bounce finished by Marchment, and that's what leads us to the 2-2 tie.
Yes, it does. I'm going to go ahead and give you the football reset, and then we'll get in the Flames reset for goals, and then we'll get in our first intermission. So it looks like right now 7 seconds left to go in the second. Seattle's touchdown was just overturned. It looks like 2014 Dallas with 7 seconds left. I believe they have the ball, though. I'll let you know if there's any other updates there. As far as our scoring in this game, it was 3 straight defensemen. The 451 mark, Thomas Harley with his fourth from Joe Pa and Jason Robertson. And then 2 straight for the Flames. Chris Tanev with his first from Mangiapane and Dennis Gilbert. Noah Hannafin at the 15:30 mark from Michael Backlund and Jonathan Huberdeau. Before the defensive streak was broken, Mason Marchment with his fifth from Tyler Seguin and Miro Heiskanen. Jacob Markstrom stopped 8 out of 10. Scott Wedgwood 7 out of 9.
Yeah, great reset there, John. And this is going to be a really big contest for the Flames. Can they get back to 500? Is what I mentioned when I first jumped on the broadcast here. It doesn't seem like all that impressive of an achievement, but when you're still close in the standings and dancing around those playoff spots, being in one can really be invigorating for a team. And just having at least an equal amount of wins and losses in those columns can make a difference for your psyche as well. So I think there's lots going on the ice, but also just in terms of the overall direction of the team as well.
So I don't normally do this during the intermission, but we got a lot going on here. It's Seattle and Toronto in the middle of a shootout. Austin Matthews has given the Maple Leafs the lead.
My goodness. Well, guess what? It's my night, John. We're talking.
I know.
We're talking Seahawks. We're literally covering the Flames, and now we're talking Kraken. Boy, another team. Man, you want to talk about teams that need a little boost, just mentally, just in their energy. The Kraken having a different start to the year than I think they and lots of people in the hockey world expected. But let's see what happens here in shootout against a really good Maple Leafs team. Jared
McCann tried to go forehand, and Woll saved it with the glove. Marner, he scores. Maple Leafs get the extra point. Seattle at least going to get one. Marner, right wing side, slows up, shoots, scores! And the Maple Leafs take the extra point in the shootout. They win 4-3.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, first of all, great calls on the fly. In the intermission, John Ott is still on point. He's working even when we're on a break, when the teams are on a break. But yeah, listen, that's a tough team right there. A tough matchup at any time against Matthews, Marner, and those Maple Leafs. So I'm sure the Kraken would have loved to get the two, but they will take the one. No moral victories, of course, but to take them to a shootout, that shows some competitiveness. And those are, it's a skills competition. Could have gone either way for sure.
Yes, it has. And for the Maple Leafs, back-to-back shootouts because they beat the Panthers the other day in the game I covered. It was double tap. On the other side, Brevin Rodriguez before finished off by the Maple Leafs, so they get another win. Panthers get a 5-1 win over the Canadiens. And the Bruins, Cooper, again, 15-4-3. I normally wouldn't say it like this, but they've ridden the ship, and they beat the Sharks 3-0. They were losing games in regulation.
Yeah, well, I hate to say it, but the Sharks know it. Sharks fans know it. They're not going to take any offense here. If you need to turn things around, you need to face the Sharks. And that's exactly what happened for the Bruins, who did go on a little bit of a slide there. I mean, look, they're human too. Obviously, a little bit of turmoil with that team, certainly around a former Flame. I think that they were able to focus through that for the most part and then stumbled a bit here. Then they get the win tonight, shutting out San Jose, and we'll see if they can put together another stretch of games and get some more wins.
So I'm going to get another final here, then we'll get to the Flames trade, then the Patrick Kane news. We'll do this pretty quickly here. So the Penguins, they get a gigantic win over the Lightning. Again, Vasilevsky's come back, but now the Lightning all of a sudden are losing a couple games. They lost to Colorado the other day. Now they lose to the Penguins. They lost to Arizona last night on that side, but they lose 4-2 to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and a couple of things to note there. The Coyotes, look out.
Yeah.
They're a little better than they've been in a few seasons. And in that Pittsburgh game, goalie goal, hitting the empty net, making it 4-2. That was a pretty exciting development there.
Holy cow, yeah, Tristan Jarry, 1852 in the third period. Thank you for that shout out there, Cooper. I wouldn't have noticed that.
Hey, there are a certain handful of things that hockey players and fans get especially excited for, and that is right near the top of it. It's almost the goalies, right, John?
Yes.
If we're not fighting, they want them to score, and that at least we got one of those tonight. So big thumbs up to Jarry for firing one over the top of everyone's domes and into the back of the net to make it 4-2.
So I want to make sure that I give you the first floor on this, but there was a big trade as was broken out and sent out the tweet. Nikita Zadorov to Vancouver Canucks. What did you think of that trade?
Well, you know what? First of all, we basically knew it was going to happen. Zadorov and his reps made it public that he was interested in being traded away from Calgary. That's fine. And Craig Conroy been put in a tough position, right? I'm still a new GM. He's been an assistant GM for many, many years. Been in the Flames organization as a player, as an executive, and now making the choices. He's calling the shots, and Zadorov basically called the shot for him. Hey, I want to be traded, so the clock starts to tick. I will say this. I did not expect him to be traded in the Pacific Division, and certainly not to a direct rival to the Vancouver Canucks. But you know what? There's precedent for that. The Flames and the Vancouver Canucks have a very active trade history. And there hasn't been a trade like that in some time. And listen, we're not talking about a first-line center. We're not talking about a first-pairing defenseman. Nikita Zadorov is basically your fifth defender, right? I think you'd probably agree with that. Give or take. Maybe he's the fourth on some teams. Maybe he's sixth or seventh on some other teams. But you know what? He made a difference for the Calgary Flames. And my personal feeling, John, you know this very well, I really like Nikita Zadorov as a Calgary Flame. I like his attitude. I like his work ethic night in and night out. Professionalism, his desire to press in from the blue line and play a little offense when necessary. I think especially on a Flames team that needed that. And then we saw some of the biggest hits in the recent history of the Calgary Flames, in a game that is changing. It's more about speed, offense, space, timing, precision. I'm not saying hitting and fighting and the things that a lot of hockey fans love are going away, but Nikita Zadorov brought some of those elements night in and night out. Those are some of the things that I will miss. I think the Canucks need him. I think the Canucks are also thinking about where their season is headed. Again, I'm going to toot my own horn. I thought the Canucks would make a bit of a push this year, and it looks like they're doing that. this is a different version of the Canucks team, kind of like the Coyotes. Things are changing a little bit out in the West and are being led by those teams in Arizona and in British Columbia. So the last thing I'll say, the question about what did the Flames get back? Did Conroy, quote-unquote, win the trade? Well, let's not forget that Nikita Zadorov was picked up. I believe that the Flames had to give up a third-round draft choice to get him. So one pick for one player. And they got a lot of life in some of the better years of Zadorov's career. I wish it would have been longer. That's my personal feeling. But to get back 2 picks, I think even at this point in the season, that's about as much as you can hope for, other than maybe getting, if you had identified a fourth line forward or an AHL player to get a 5th round pick in this upcoming draft, and then 2 years away in the 2026 draft, the Flames will have a 3rd rounder. So basically, it's offset, but you're getting back that 3rd round pick, getting an additional pick. I think the Canucks get some help. He'll be a good piece of that team. Wish he were still a Flame, but overall, I think Conroy did what he needed to do when his hand was forced, and he did pretty well. We'll see what happens from here.
I think so too, because you look at some of the armchair GMs on that side, I think you give a really good take, but the ones that go before that, they say, hey, we get a 2nd round pick. The only way you're doing that is if you're retaining a lot of salary and if he's already signed. So it's a pure rental on that side for Vancouver. We don't know if he's even going to get extended at all. And I'll take it a step further as I'll transition to the Red Wings here. Philip Hronek, remember Steve Yzerman got a first for him. And we said, Philip Hronek's doing really good. He's getting a ton of assists. Well, you know why he's doing that, Cooper? It's just playing with Quinn Hughes.
You said it all. There's nothing I can add to that. That's a great observation. Also, thank you for bringing up the contract details. That does matter so much in today's game. Also, with Zadorov exiting, it just frees up the Flames financially a little bit more to move players around. And Conroy, who's actually being interviewed on Sportsnet by Ryan Leslie right now, I'm sure is making comments just like the ones we're saying, John. Having that financial freedom makes a big difference. And Conroy did not shy away from something that you and I have talked about and said the Flames have needed to embrace. We're not able to do so in the Daryl Sutter era, the second Daryl Sutter era, is embrace the youth and the talent that they have had in the organization right below them, the Calgary Wranglers, former the Stockton Heat. Anyway, I just like that Conroy has not shied away from saying we want to give more young, talented players chances here because we're starting to see, as Connor Zary has exhibited tonight, they have some special pieces that could make a big difference with the big club.
Yeah, and again, as you said, I agree with you completely. He said from day one what he's going to do, and he's been sticking to that script, and he's been honest with everybody. And I think that that's exactly what you want, and that's what we want to continue to see with the Flames. And I think as long as they can continue to navigate the contracts that are being signed, we all know the names on that side, I think Calgary is going to push themselves in the right direction. We know that there's going to be some things that have to happen down the road, but I think Conroy is going to be the right person to do it. Speaking of GM talk, as you mentioned there with Leslie and Conroy, I saw a little bit earlier on the Red Wings side between Mickey Redmond and Steve Yzerman. And what's the talk been about? Mr. Patrick Kane. Yes, he is a member of the Detroit Red Wings, and yes, the contract is prorated, so it's just 1 year, just under $3 million on that side. But the 35-year-old Patrick Kane is coming off hip resurfacing injury, and really only 3 other players have had that, 2 of which I know have never played again, and I believe on that side, what was it, Backstrom? He only played a few more games for Washington before he had to sit and bow out because it was just too painful on that end. So here's the thing for me for Patrick Kane. Everybody's going crazy here and saying, all of a sudden the Red Wings are going to be a playoff team and he's a complete difference maker and contributor. Yes, he can be a difference maker and contributor, but you know what I like about it, Cooper, on this side for Steve Yzerman? It's a 1 year deal. It's a show me deal. Patrick Kane came in and said the right things. I'm not expecting to be on the first line. I feel like I can have an impact on that second and third line. And Alex DeBrincat was a big reason why I wanted to come here. I believed in what head coach Derek Lalonde wanted to do. I like what Steve Yzerman is bringing. And I'm going to be able to bring something to this team going forward and make an impact. And that's what I think Patrick Kane can do. A second or third liner for what Patrick Kane can be, because, look, you could have a line essentially where it's DeBrincat, Kane, and JT Compher That's your second line, and it doesn't disrupt your first line for Larkin, Raymond, and Perron. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, John, I mean, listen, you obviously the expert when it comes to Hockey Town and all things Detroit Red Wings. I personally like this a lot for Detroit. Why not bring in a legend and see how much tread there is left on the tires?
Yes.
I think that I applaud Patrick Kane for not letting the ego lead. I think he knows the role that he's going to be asked to play, and he knows he's stepping onto a team that is in a really exciting part of a trajectory after many years of rebuilding, and we're starting to see a little noise. There was a little noise last year, and it faded a bit. I'm going to see if the Detroit Red Wings can sustain some of that noise, and I'm talking about noise in the standings and pushing some of their opponents out of the way. I love the fact that the Red Wings are where they are right now, sitting on 27 points with that 12-7-3 record in a wild card position. Teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are right behind them, looks to be a different type of team. This is not the dominant, frightening Tampa Bay Lightning team that, was really at the top of the NHL for multiple years in a row. It's going to start to make room for the Red Wings. When you have a leader and somebody who basically at any moment can still flash that generational skill like Patty Kane can, that's a good recipe for me. And if you have any other thoughts, please share, my friend, because listen, it's still Patrick Kane. He may not be the Patrick Kane of 8 or 10 years ago, but to me, I think it's a great move, and I think he's going to bring something to the Red Wings.
Let me just say this, because you and I know a couple of years ago, Patrick Kane had about 90 points. I would think Patrick Kane, if he's healthy, all things considered, 60 on that side. I think that's a base to work off of. He's somebody that's definitely going to be able to add to your power play, which the Red Wings want to be able to do, and give you more offensive push. But the one thing I think you and I are going to be completely like-minded to this. You're probably already thinking about this now. But what I'm excited about with Patrick Kane is not just the player. It's what it signifies to me for the Red Wings. We've talked about the rebuilding and the mess from Ken Holland and Steve Yzerman to take over. People will say it's year 5. They haven't won yet. What's Steve doing? And you and I have talked about it. We've been very honest with everybody, saying, look what he inherited. Look all the things that had to be made. This move signifies to me that the Red Wings are ready to take the next step toward being competitive and toward being a playoff team. The dark ages of the rebuild, yes, I know they have to fix some decor things with Sherratt, Petrie, and Hull. And that will come with time because you're still slowly building up your core. You're letting them get seasoning in the AHL. But what that signifies is a move toward competitive hockey and a push toward the playoffs.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, maybe this is me trying to wax a little too poetic. This is one legendary forward in the history of the NHL trusting another legendary forward in the history of the NHL and saying, you know what? You have a place here, and your career is, you're on the back half for sure. If we're using the golf analogy, you're probably on the 16th hole. But you know what? That's a few good holes to go, and you can make a big impact with a little bit of runway. And if there's anyone who can, it is a player like Patrick Kane. And he knows that he will be trusted, he will be called upon, and every opponent is going to have to account for him. You cannot assume, it's old Patty Kane, we can just give him time and space. As soon as you do that, or as soon as you forget about him, watch it, he will make you pay.
Yeah, we saw that when he was with the Rangers last year. And Vlad Tarasenko, I still think he's got a lot left to give in the tank. And again, the one thing for me, he might make his return sometime next week on that end, but there is no rush on that side for Steve Yzerman. Said the same thing with Patrick Kane. I played through injuries too. We'll find a way to make it work for you. Speaking of the Red Wings on that side, the interesting part, they acquired Patrick Kane Cooper, and then who did the Red Wings play in back-to-back games? 2 of his former teams, in the Rangers and the Blackhawks. Man, that Rangers game was crazy yesterday, but the Red Wings did bounce back with a 5-1 victory over Chicago.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just like I was trying to maybe be too poetic a moment ago. There's a script writer. We always joke about how the NFL, the old legend that somewhere someone is writing these scripts to get the NFL to play out the way that it does every season. Well, how about whoever's writing the scripts for the NHL? Because you mentioned Patty Kane going to face his former teams bang right away. Well, who did the Flames face on Saturday? Yeah. Guess what? The Vancouver Canucks.
Yes, I was just going to ask you that too. What is Nikita Zadorov thinking on the Saturday side? I mean, he's probably staying in Calgary because he'll just be right here. Do you want to take the second period?
Sure. What the heck? I think I might be. This is rare. Normally, as our devoted listeners know, I'm usually behind John Ott. I'm always good for one or two technical difficulties, but we've been smooth so far. So knock on wood. I think I'm about 10 seconds ahead of you here, but I'll jump in as I'm seeing our teams jump into that center ice faceoff circle. It's time for the second period at the Scotiabank Saddledome, and now we're just seconds in. 10 shots apiece, 2 goals apiece. It was 2-1 Flames until a minute to go in the first, when the Dallas Stars, who are moving right to left in the second period, and they're visiting white and greens, they tied this game up. Flames here in the second, moving left to right on your radio dials in their home Reds with the red and yellow trim. Now Dallas has the puck at the blue line. She sends a big slap shot in behind Marchment on his glove side. Now Tanev getting tied up right there behind the net with Roope Hintz. The puck's going to bounce to the far point. Dallas keeping this puck in with 28 seconds gone here in the second. Puck bouncing around with the far boards. Cooper Hopkins here on play-by-play alongside the one and only John Ott. We just had some great first intermission discussion about some big trades. One certainly bigger than the other, involving Patty Kane, and then Nikita Zadorov, who was a big piece and throws big hits. Well, he did for the Flames. Now he will presumably for the Canucks as Rasmus Andersson takes this puck, and the Swedish defenseman will pass along to that far wall to Weegar. Now a pass in front, the puck bouncing in the high slot. Again, Scott Wedgwood in the crease for the Stars tonight, not Jake Ottinger, who is wearing that ball cap on the bench. He's been shown multiple times as if Sportsnet's trying to say, hey, you sure you don't want to start this guy? Well, Wedgwood's been doing okay so far. Has only led into 2, and right now we're going to get a stoppage. In fact, John, I believe we're going to get an interference call. You might be a couple of seconds behind, but let me know if you see what I see. Looks like the Flames will have the first power play of the night.
Looks like Jamie Benn is going to the box.
Yes, indeed. One of those last remaining players grandfathered in. Doesn't have to wear the visor. John, he's got it wide open. There are just a few guys left. Crazy to think that not that many years ago, there were a few players that didn't have to wear a helmet at all, John.
Right.
But things have changed. We got modern hockey here, and boy, the Flames want to make some changes as well with their power play, just 11.3% conversion rate. That's near the bottom of the league in the low 20s. And here they go. A few seconds elapsed here in the man advantage. Again, the first one of the evening. No penalties called in the first period. And boy, early here in the second, we get our first power play of the night. Now there's a slapper from deep by Hannafin. Huberdeau was on the doorstep there, tried to backhand shovel that thing past Wedgwood. Couldn't get a clean stick on it. 25 seconds have gone here in the power play. Back to Hannafin up top, this umbrella formation. Puck goes back to Kadri. He holds and holds, sends a pass across. Now that pass is whipped back through, looked to connect with Huberdeau, but it was deflected away by the Stars in the middle. Now tap back to Hannafin. Worth noting here from the Sportsnet stat team, 7 for 7. That's the penalty kill for the Stars in their last 2 games. So a nice stretch for their special teams. There's a bomb from Hannafin that bounces off of a leg in front. Flames doing a great job here of keeping the puck in the offensive zone. Hannafin gets the puck one more time. Flutters one through off of a body in front again. That shot did not make it to Wedgwood. Now here's a slap shot. That one is bounced off of the right pad of Wedgwood. Now Huberdeau getting tied up in front. Looked like a hook there, but there will be no call. Hannafin steps back in. Pass to the right circle. Now he's going to slap one through. Lots of bodies going down in front, John. 45 seconds to go here on the power play. A couple of shots have gone through here, so 12 now for the Flames. Hannafin looking for a target again. This one slapped from an angle. Puck bouncing to Wedgwood's right, and it will go all the way back to the point. Boy, Flames, John, have spent almost the entire power play on this shift in the offensive zone. They're looking to score here. They were 0 for 3 against the Knights in that overtime win last game. Now the puck gets shot through, bounced off a leg again. Puck goes to Hannafin one more time. I sound like I'm repeating myself because I am. 100% in that offensive zone, John, until 10 seconds to go in the power play. The puck is sent out by the Stars. Weegar collects from Marchment, and the power play expires. So, boy, lots of pressure from the home team here. But now Jamie Benn out of the box, and guess what? Here come the Stars. A back pass through the high slot just goes through some skates. And we are off and running in the second period. Flames come on a 4-on-3 here. They finally get a change. Andrew Mangiapane is out now on the ice for the Flames. He's been one of the best Calgary players, or just any player on the ice, as here comes Number 95, Matt Duchene, played for a couple of squads in the NHL, as John mentioned in the first period. And the puck is in the far corner to Markstrom's right. Held in there by Dallas, but the puck will bounce away from the Stars and now is picked up by Blake Coleman, the former Tampa Bay Lightning. Gets it across. There's a great shot by Greer. That one bounces off the bottom of the trapper. Wedgwood makes the save. It bounces to the corner. Guess who? Hanifin up top again sends a shot on. It's blockered away. That one another save for Wedgwood. So it should be 15 shots now for Calgary. It's still 2-2. That's the score, 2 goals to 2 goals, with 15:30 to go here in the middle stanza. So now 16 shots for the Flames. One man down behind the net looked to be just pinned down by one of the Stars. That was a Flame. I thought there was injury, but nope, that's going to be one of the Calgary Flames who was checked down behind Wedgwood. The puck sent in. The Flames will change. Dallas goes for a partial change as well. Puck fluttering down into the near corner toward Markstrom's side. Osterley for the Flames is going to collect here. He gives us one to Connor Zary. He has had some moves tonight. He'd love to get on the score sheet. So would his team. That would put them up by 1. But right now, MacKenzie Weegar having to turn back and forth, sends it to Osterley. And we have the Flames offside where they will touch the puck. I believe Kadri makes contact. And boy, he has some words for Heiskanen right there as play has finally been whistled dead. 14:55 to go here in a second.
So I will say this: the Dallas Stars now on the recent thing where Sportsnet are 8 for 8 on their kill side, but they just allowed in that diamond shape Calgary to do whatever they want to get shots from the point. If Calgary gets another power play, assuming Dallas already knows what's working, I'll press in a little bit. I'll even put Connor Zary on the power play, make a couple moves, try to get a little bit in tight. If Dallas is going to give me that much space, I think Calgary is going to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I think you make a great point there, John. They had just put so much pressure on it. Listen, we watched a lot of Flames hockey. That was some of the more sustained pressure I've seen on a Flames power play for potentially a couple of seasons here. So nice start to their man advantage tonight. Didn't get a goal, but it bodes well if they happen to get another one, as John just mentioned. But right now, the puck is in the offensive zone of the Stars. They have the puck back at the blue line. There's Benn. He goes low to high. Now Benn's going to get the puck right back at the far point. Sends it over to Heiskanen. Now this one's sent to the center, and it bounces through some legs almost underneath Markstrom. That hits some trees out in front, including Rasmus Andersson, who now has the puck and will clear the zone for the Flames. The Dallas Stars looking for an icing call here, but it will not be called. Looked like it touched a body in the neutral zone before Heiskanen goes to pick it up. He goes nice stretch pass right there. That one's going to be snapped on. It's loose in front. Driving the net right there for Dallas was Mason Marchment, but good back-checking by the Flames right there to take away what would have been a sure goal-scoring opportunity. Under 14 minutes to play here in the second. Still 2-2 in this very tight hockey game between the two teams that have sort of inadvertently become rivals of sorts, playing good contests every time they meet. Last time they did meet, it was a 7-4 victory for the Calgary Flames, even though they went into the third period trailing in that game. So now the puck is on the stick of Lindell. Now a whiff on a setup for a one-timer right there. Nick that Hockenpog, who had the pass across, and the shot eventually gets down to Markstrom. No trouble there as he finds a teammate. It's going to be Lindholm, the top man for Calgary in the center position. Is going to flutter this one in, looking for Zary. Zary trying to maintain possession here, but Lindell gets it across. And this one picked up in the middle of the defensive zone as the Stars will skate it out. Now dropped off right there for Hintz. And Hintz going to send it across and bounces through the corner to the far half boards. Nice job by the Flames right there to eventually get it out, though there could be an icing here. But the Flames are trying to race this thing down, and Wedgwood will step out into the trapezoid and play it with the backhand. So play continues. 12:40 to go here in the second period. In the O-zone for the Stars. Stars going to try to collapse on this thing behind Markstrom as it bounces to Hanley. Make that Harley. I've done that twice tonight. The R is an N, the N is an R. I got to look for the numbers. Harley with that big 5'5", Hanley wearing 44 in green as the Stars still hold the puck right here. It falls to the stick of Jason Robertson. And Robo looks to possess, falls down, takes one of the Flames with him. Bodies colliding at the far half boards against the glass, and it's flirted over to Dylan Dubé. Not a name we've mentioned all that much, though we did have a scoring opportunity in the first. And he is checked down right here as we see Zary hit the bench. John, is this an offside? I don't see a penalty call. Looks like we have an offside stoppage and our first get timeout.
Yeah, it was a painful one for Dubé because he kind of got his face slammed in the glass for the offside. But that Yanni Hakanpää slap attempt makes me remind myself of why I shoot wrist shots in Eschel.
You said it, my friend. I looked like that was going to be a bomb coming in from deep. Reminds me of an old Calgary Flame who is retired now, enjoying his years, relaxing. It makes me think of Michael Stone. He would fire big shots from way outside, and Hakanpää was doing his best impression there, but he got nothing but air on that one.
So, dare I say it, with the exception of that Calgary power play, which looked really good, this second period so far for you looked much like the first period for me, where it's kind of just been a little bit of a feeling out process, has it not?
Yeah, I might give a little bit of a nod to the Stars here. They've had just a few more moments of, I wouldn't call it sustained offensive zone time, but they have been able to set up a little bit more successfully. They're not really cycling fully or buzzing by any stretch of the imagination, but there have just been a couple of moments, maybe 2 or 3 so far in the first half of this second, where Dallas has set some things up and at least gotten looks. They haven't done much with it, but we'll see if the Flames can do what they did in the first. They let Dallas kind of have the run of play, not completely, but Dallas was pushing more often than not, and the Flames were on the back foot until Calgary really turned things around and took the lead until late in the first. Dallas ties things up. So, of course, the Flames would love to repeat that, take the momentum back, but, of course, with the exception of not giving it up with a minute to go in the period.
So here was an interesting development. I saw a little bit earlier. Luke Hughes left the game for the Devils with an injury. He comes back, scores the 1 in OT. Devils improved to 11-9-1. They beat the Flyers, who fall to 11-10-2. They beat them 4-3 in OT.
Yeah, thanks for the update, John. And boy, the Flyers. We've been talking about some teams that are making a little bit of a shift. I'm not saying the Flyers are going to go out and win the Cup this year, but at least putting together a better early season than they've had the past couple trips through. But right now, at least on my side, again, I may be a few seconds ahead of Mr. John Ott, but we are now under 12 minutes to go here in the second. We are back underneath the action, trademark John Ott right there, fully stolen. There's another slap shot attempt from the blue line by the Stars, but it does hit bodies in front. Flames have been doing a good job of clogging the lanes tonight, not letting it too much get to Marchment. And we now have 11:35 to go here in the second as the puck goes down to the far corner, and that angled pass, low to high, is past everyone and all the way back to Wedgwood behind his net. Stretch pass there. That's been a success spot for Dallas so far. That was a nice pass from deep that got all the way to the Flames' blue line, but the Stars step offside, so we have play whistle down once again.
I didn't catch the number on it, Cooper, but it looks like one of the Flames is hurting at the bench blocking a shot.
Yeah, John, good point. We'll try to get an update there. I did not get a number either. I think it was one of the Flames forwards, but let's take a peek at that. We might get another look at someone who definitely was feeling that blocked shot for sure on the bench. So hopefully Ryan Huska and his staff will check in on that, and the Flames will be able to move forward managing that situation. Right now, here comes Rasmus Andersson with a fluttering puck that, again, this has happened a couple of times so far. Wedgwood gets handcuffed. He can't glove that thing down. And that allows the Flames to pinch in, do a nice job on the forecheck now. Guess who has it? It's the captain wearing number 11, Mikael Backlund, now looking for the pass return to him, but the Stars do a good job of stepping in that lane and knocking the puck back down toward Marchment. It's going to be picked up here by Weegar, who came over with Huberdeau in that blockbuster trade for Tkachuk going to Florida. Those two players come back to the Flames, and Weegar's been a nice steady presence on the blue line for these Calgary Flames. And here's a bouncing puck right at the red line. Center ice going to be picked up here by Dallas. And we have, I believe, a penalty coming up here, John, or was that a clean play? Breaking through was Esa Lindell. I thought there might have been a trip there, but maybe you can double down on what I'm seeing. Is that a clean stop by the Flames?
I think it is on that side. But Pospisil, he could have got pretty close after the puck bounced off his left leg for a hook because he was late to get back and just bounced right off of him. And I know Ryan Huska is the head coach right now, but for Daryl Sutter, you would think about it. You see Wedgwood kind of fumbling these pucks around. Maybe you should start bombing more shots at the net.
Yeah, I think you and I are thinking the same thing, my friend. We have a face-off to Marchment's left. Kadri was waved out, but Zary steps in, and his good game continues. He wins that defensive zone draw. Flames are trying to get this thing out. Guess who does it? It's Zary. He's everywhere as the puck flutters forward. Here come the Flames on a partial break. And with a little bit of a just a touch earlier, as now a shot comes in for the Flames from the blue line. We're halfway through this contest, less than 10 to go here in the second. Flames hanging on to this puck. Guess who it is again? It's Sari holding that thing in, but now the Stars will get possession and float it up over Sari's outstretched mitt, and it will go back to Chris Tanev. He will send this thing in. No icing here, so the Flames looking to forecheck, and they do a good job as Rasmus Andersson pinches in against Marchment. Now the Stars will backhand this thing along. That was Lindell. He's had a couple of good shifts here in the second period, and the puck goes behind Jacob Markstrom, and we will have an icing call. So the Flames with a little bit of a push coming out of that media timeout, John.
Yeah, it was, and you had Connor Zary making the moves, as Cooper said, just trying to hold it in, Pospisil on a break. But Nazem Kadri was on the left side of that blue line. He lets one go, and all of a sudden it hits Wedgwood in the 5-hole, and then he's kind of looking behind him on the side of the board. So, again, I just have to notice that puck tracking, and I think the Flames will be picking up on that too.
Yeah, I think you're right. I love these youngsters for the Flames. Not afraid to drive the net and try to make a big moment in this game happen. You got to feel like one of them is going to break through soon. And now with the puck on his stick, it is Andrew Mangiapane, and he has again had a great game for the Flames so far. And Rasmus Andersson picks this puck up, sends it to the neutral zone. Flames kind of crowding each other in their own end. 9 minutes to go in the second. 18 shots for Calgary, 12 shots for Dallas. So Flames have done a great job. Again, I mentioned this a few minutes ago. They've not let shots really get to Markstrom here in this second period. Just a couple to speak of as the puck was beaten for Mangiapane's stick blade right there. It was tapped away just at the last second. Stars going to go for a change here. Flames try to go for the cross-ice stretch pass. It was unsuccessful, but then held in. Now we have the Flames with the wraparound attempt. Puck loose in front. It's bouncing. Backlund was there, but the Flames couldn't get a clean stick on it, and it's carried out right there. Good job by Pavelski to do what a veteran should do, take the play over and get that thing away from danger. So the Flames right now with a turnover in their own end. Pass goes out to the center. It's right in the slot, and I think we have another diving block from Tanev. He puts his body on the line, John, night in and night out. He's got the stitches on his chin to prove it. The other night, he took one off of his face. You mentioned that earlier. His response to why he did it, he said, well, that was the only way I was going to stop that shot. Chris Tanev, unbelievable stuff right there. The backhand shot comes in for the Flames. That was Gilbert. So another defenseman trying to make an offensive move. There's a snapshot. Gilbert had it on his forehand that time, and he went a little wide of the trapper side of Wedgwood's net. Now the Flames doing a great job again forechecking. Wrap around far side. That was put on by Rasmussen. And I think that bounced off of Wedgwood's right pad. So great push here from the Flames. This is kind of what we were just talking about, John. 10 shots for Calgary in this period, just 2 for the visiting Stars. And the Flames buzzing right now, every shift, making a difference and spending time in the O-zone. Andersson steps in from the near point to the half board. He's going to keep this thing into the corner. Huska backhands it around. This one going to be sent back to the far point. Now Weegar goes back to Andersson. Andersson floats it in front. This one goes off of a skate, bounces up into the air, and eventually into the netting. As we get a shot of Tanev on the bench, John, he gets another huge shot block, denying Sam Steele right in front.
That takes a lot of guts. Again, they showed it on the Sports Center in the first intermission, and looking at the teeth and the chiclets there for Tanev, especially getting hit in the face, and he goes, I got the gap tooth. I wouldn't mind losing it, blocking another shot.
My goodness, he just does it any which way he can. He had his back to the shooter, sees that the shot is impending, and basically falls backwards, almost like he's slipping on a pool deck back into the water. And he catches that thing right in the ribs. So he has the scars to show that he has really put his body on the line for these Flames.
Yeah, it's not pretty being a defenseman at times, but again, that was an absolute bailout because it was a turnover right in the middle of the slot. Sam Steele would have had a wide open net to shoot at, but Tanev with the heroics able to shut that one down. I'm not going to say too much, but I'll just give you honestly what I see. The Flames have absolutely dominated in the second period as far as the shot opportunities. You kind of wonder what adjustments Peter DeBoer's squad's going to make. And if they keep getting these wraparounds and everything else on Wedgwood, you feel like the Flames are going to get the next goal. It almost makes me wonder if this game goes along that Dallas might start the press for breakaways because they're just not getting any action in Calgary's end.
Yeah, you're right. And listen, you made a point of this, you talked about where the scoring is coming from for the Dallas Stars. You think with some of the skill that they have, that strategy might be what they have to go to. You just want to give people like Robo, you want to get Marchment, you want to get Lindell as much time and space and momentum at skate speed as possible, and just get them into the offensive zone with any semblance of an opportunity. So we might see that strategy, but the Flames doing a great job of bottling things up right in front of Jacob Markstrom. And on the other side, listen, the Flames have looked good over the past number of shifts. Boy, there's a great shot on the Sportsnet side of Markstrom during the timeout, giving a little tap on the helmet to Tanev. But we got to see if the Flames can capitalize while they have momentum. You know it's not going to last forever. You're playing the Dallas Stars. They are going to come with a push.
I'm in 100% agreement with you. We're going to see which way this game's going to turn.
You got it. So here we are. It's, Tanev now 2 blocks away from 1,500 in his career. That is unbelievable as we cross the 7-minute mark here in the second period. Flames win an ozone draw. Now they have the puck. It's on Blake Coleman's stick. He gets pushed off the puck right there by Harley. I got it right that time, John. Here's Thomas Harley, who scored tonight's first goal. And, little skate trouble right there for Dodonov. He falls down. Now another Dallas Star falls down at center ice, and some checking going on. That's Benn. He's getting mixed up with Gilbert right by the Dallas bench. And the whistle has gone here. I don't think we have a penalty. I think it was a puck into the player bench. And Gilbert and Benn having words right here.
I will say this because I've known Jimmy Benn for the times playing against the Red Wings in the cross-check against Larkin. Benn's known to be doing some of those things. He's not Brad Marchand, but he will get under your skin.
Yeah, and I think he feels what we were just talking about. This game may still be tied, but the Flames have had a lot of the play in this second period. And Benn saw something he didn't like, and he saw a target. It happened to be Gilbert. He was the nearest man, and they got tied up. So keep an eye on those two as things move forward. And just a little extra replay right here. There was a little bit of shot from Gilbert to Wyatt Johnston that maybe ticked Benn off right there. So we're back underneath the action here, John. Inside 6.5 minutes to go here. Guess what? The Flames once again in the ozone. Going to hold this thing in with Rasmus at the near point. Drops it off for Kadri. Stays on side. Shot from distance. Bounced off of one of the Dallas Stars' backs. And then Seguin, make that Matt Duchene. Was able to get us in the neutral zone, but coming right back in with Kadri are the Flames. There's a pass through. He was looking for Pospisil. Couldn't find it. Now a deflection opportunity. But Kadri didn't really get much on that thing, so the puck stayed from the blue line on the ice as it made its way toward the crease, and a nice simple save with the left pad by the tender for the Stars. 22 shots now for Calgary. Again, so far just 2 for Dallas in this period, but they drive into the offensive zone. They were onside. Andersson right there tries to check Robertson, and this puck's going to flutter around. Tanev now is going to sit back. He's in his defensive position. Heiskanen over right there, sends the puck from the near boards to far, gets the puck right back. Now he circles back around. Boy, I've said this a few times. Heiskanen blows the tire. He gets right back up, though, and has the puck in the far circle. He looks for a pass right there, deflects off his skate. Dallas doing a good job right now of keeping a little bit of possession in the offensive zone. Great back pass from the wall, but guess who's in front again on the wrist shot attempt? It's Tanev, big number 8, with his... Well, I think that's shot block number 1499 in his career. He may get to 1,500 in the next shift. Less than 5 here to go as the puck is sent in by the Flames from the far boards, and it's going to be gloved down by Wedgwood. Man, it's been the Tanev show on defense in this second period.
Yes, it has been. And again, sometimes after the games are done and I type everything up, I'll watch some things on YouTube. I happen to see somebody play NHL 13, and they acquired a young Christopher Tanev on their team, and I see him smile with a full set of chiclets. I never thought he would have 1,500 block shots in his career, but here we are.
Man, oh man, yeah, he has been an absolute warrior. And, we talked about Zadorov tonight. Obviously, I was so happy that he spent any amount of time with the Calgary Flames, but who we don't often give as much credit to as he deserves, and that's Chris Tanev. I mean, what a career he's had. Just a savvy veteran, and he makes it look easy. Those really, really hard defensive plays, being in the right spot at the right time against offensive opponents that are moving so quickly and can snap the puck around the ice like it's nothing. he seems to always be in the right spot, John.
Yeah, he's got the right spot, the speed, the wherewithal, the block shots, and the want to. I understand some defensemen play different ways, but to sacrifice yourself that way, to that extent, for that much time, I mean, that's why he's so damn good, to be honest with you. He's always going to be close to a top line pairing defenseman. I do want to mention this. Again, I mentioned this a couple times last year with Jason Robertson about time and space, and you're thinking about, they wanted to score more goals and this and that. And I think it will come because, again, he's a really young player and he's finding his way. It's a lot easier to shield when you're on the Dallas Stars there, but a couple times off the rush, he had chances right down the middle when I know he's got a cannon of a wrist shot and he elected to pass. We'll see if he can make the adjustment as we go into the third.
Yeah, no, that's a great observation right there, and I'm just going to touch on it briefly as we have a few more seconds here in our commercial break. Just checking in the National Football League. Pretty good contest between the Seahawks in Texas tonight against the Dallas Cowboys. 5:25 to go in the third. It's 1st and 10 in the red zone for the Cowboys. They're actually down by 8 right now, so it's a one-score game, but 28-20, the Seahawks are leading, and DK Metcalf having a huge game, over 130 receiving yards and 2 scores for the big receiver. So we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, we've got some more action on the ice at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Less than 5 minutes to go here in the second period. Still have a 2-2 hockey game, as after a face-off, the puck bounces off the glass and is not touched. So it's an icing call. We'll bring this back down toward Wedgwood for a face-off.
And you have to give Cooper a big shout out, everybody, when they listen to it, because he's such a boss. He's working here with me when he could be watching that game. So much appreciated.
Oh, come on. You know what, man? You know I'd always rather be on this. What kind of friend what kind of a broadcast partner would I be if I said, I'm taking the night off? I'm just going to watch some football. Heck no, we got 2 good hockey teams here. The Flames have struggled to start this year. But maybe just a hint of turning things around here. And a win tonight would certainly go a long way in that effort as we get another stoppage. The Stars offside just by a stride or so at the Flames blue line.
Yeah, and I got to say right now, from the Calgary push, I can also give a edge to the goaltender on the Dallas side. Scott Wedgwood, 20 out of 22 so far. He's been pretty good, and I didn't even think he was going to start today.
Yeah, it's funny. This is kind of what happens to the Flames sometimes. They see they have the backup in, and for whatever reason, it's just a good night for those guys against the Flames, and that's the way it's gone so far. But you know what? It's not Calgary. It's credit to these guys. Look, they're at this level for a reason. Wedgwood is certainly showing it, just like those young forwards for the Flames are. Pospisil's had a couple of good moments in this second, and Zary for sure has looked excellent tonight.
Yeah, he has. There's been a lot to like in this game, and the intrigue is going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed. And here's Lindholm. He's that number 1 center for Calgary. Does what a number 1 center should do. Wins the defensive zone draw, but the Stars do a great job of keeping it in. And here's a whip shot wheeled around right there by Benn. He's been noticeable in this second period for sure in a number of ways. Tries to take a shot right there. And guess what? 1,500. I just watched it with my own eyes. Chris Tanev blocks the Jamie Benn shot in the high slot. That, if they're counting it right, that should be number 1,500 in terms of career blocks for Chris Tanev. What an accomplishment. There's more to come. He'll probably get to 15-10 in this game as we have 3:45 to go here in the second. Flames trying to pinch that puck against the far boards, but it will squeak out, head to the near side where Dallas will send it across. No icing. And it's kicked along right there for a reason that I can't explain. I'm not sure if there was a stick issue for one of the Stars, but it was kicked forward, goes to the trapezoid, now bouncing out in front. Flames in a dangerous spot right here, trying to carry this puck out. It's barely held in, just by an inch or so by the Stars at the blue line. Now Huberdeau with it, going to send this one through to Coleman. Coleman with a nice drop pass through the legs between the skates right there. It's sent in for a potential cycle for the Flames here as they're doing some good forechecking. Coleman's been active, but this puck will bounce free. And now here come the Stars into the neutral zone. 3 minutes to go here in the second. Cooper Hopkins alongside John Ott. I got the play-by-play, John, with good color. And here comes Mikael Backlund up the near boards. And he is dispossessed by Marchment at the very last second. Backlund was looking to go backhand, forehand right there. Denied the chance to do so. 2:40 on the clock in the second. 2-2 in this well-played hockey game so far. Calgary doing a nice job right there. Here comes Pospisil. He's coming up the near side with Kadri. The Dallas Stars have numbers back. They will pick that up. It's Hockenpah. Tries to send it forward and does so successfully to Robertson. Going to go cross-ice there toward the player benches. But Noah Hannafin, who was such a big presence during the Flames power play. He flutters this one along, and it looks like there will be an icing here. I don't know if it touched anybody. I thought it did, John, but guess what? I'm not paid the big bucks like the Stripes are, so we're going to have an icing here and a little face-off.
Good shout out for you there for Chris Tanev as we're looking at number 1,500.
Yeah, just so impressive. And you know what? He's just out there making it look like it's nothing. It's what he's done really his whole career. It's so impressive. We'll see if the Flames can continue a push here as we cut back to the live action. Flames were able to get the puck out after that face-off in their defensive zone. And yes, it is official. 34th player in NHL history to have 1,500 career shot blocks. Boy, what a moment. And like I said, I'll keep repeating it. There are certainly more to come for number 8 in red. The centering pass right there by the Flames is denied by a skate. I believe it's going to be yes, it is Robertson tries to carry in and knock that puck off the boards to himself. Good job by Andersson. Boy, he takes a hit right there as he whiffed on an out pass. Then eventually gets it off. Now a nice stretch pass through the zone. Here comes Andersson late in the play. Tries to snap one over the glove of Wedgwood. And boy, one of the Stars go down hard. And here comes Dallas streaking up the near side. Marchment way out of his net and holding that puck. Eventually drops it off for Dubé, who cuts it back. He stopped on a dime. We have 90 seconds to go here in the second. So some back and forth action right there between both goalies and multiple skaters for these teams. Again, hotly contested here. No pun intended, as we are covering Calgary and Dallas. And there is a puck sent to Wedgwood's left, picked up by the Flames right there, but Dallas does a good job of closing down. Dubé trying to sneak in and get this thing away and grab some possession, but it's held up at the blue line of Dallas. And now Dubé finds the puck on his stick 1 minute to go in the second. Boy, the Flames throwing a little bit of a body right there along the glass, but Dubé is the one who's worse for wear. He goes down. And now Dallas will come away with this thing. They have tried the stretch pass, Sean, really all night long. That one deflected away. Flutters to Marchment. And this one's going to go to the Flames. They have it at the neutral zone. And that's going to be Sharangovich now with 40 seconds. He sends it in off the glass at the end boards. Again, 12 shots this period for Calgary. They haven't had one in a few shifts. Only 2 for Dallas the entire period. But there's less than 30 to go now. Let's see if they can get that number up. They do have the puck. It's sent to the high slot. That one blocked again. This time, surprise, it wasn't Chris Tanev, and now another shot is blocked. My goodness, the Flames absolutely denying their opponents any shooting lanes. It was Mangiapane, the diminutive forward, getting in the way. Now we have 8 seconds to go in the second. Puck bouncing in the neutral zone. Here come the Stars for maybe one last push. They have the puck in the far circle. That one goes high and wide on the glove side. 0's on the clock. The green light goes on, John. What a period. The Flames looked so good. But we are still tied at 2 apiece.
I know you said that about halfway through the second period, and again, I can't agree with you more. A great period for the Calgary Flames, but you think about it in the back of your mind, even though the Dallas Stars only had 2 shots on goal in that period, this game is still tied. Anything can happen going into the third period now.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct, and thanks for remembering that. Sometimes I don't even remember what I point out, but I know you and I were thinking the same thing. This is great. As a Flames fan, right, trying to stay neutral on the broadcast side, listen, I love what I'm seeing, but the longer you let these excellent teams like the Dallas Stars hang around, especially in your own barn, right, you think, okay, maybe you get a little bit of extra, that home cooking, a little bit of that home crowd push. As long as you let the Dallas Stars stick around, that's the moments when they could really push through and change this game. Because like we saw in the first period, all it takes is 1 or 2 shifts for them at most to flip things on its head. But that being said, Calgary with an excellent second period, no goals to show for it. But still, they look to be the stronger of the 2 teams if you look at the whole game so far.
Yeah, and I want to see how much that can continue. Honestly, I want to see, too, what adjustments is Peter DeBoer going to make? Because I think for Ryan Huska's squad, I wouldn't change a thing. All you need is finishing. I understand how hard that can be. But at the same time, that second period, you and I have seen a lot of these. How many times have we said, Cooper, that the play's been going one way and Calgary's fighting it, just trying to get back into the game? It certainly doesn't look like it right now. And I'll take it a step further here. The one power play that they had it in the zone for about 1 minute and 55 seconds. And who knows, maybe the next power play is going to be big because we've only had one of those.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a great observation. We had a completely clean first period. And even though there have been a couple of moments of physicality, I think you and I can both admit this hasn't been a huge checking game. And even when Gilbert and Benn got into each other with each other for a moment, it wasn't anything extraordinary. You know, those are two hockey players just having a back and forth, which you could expect at any point in the game. And so it's been really a premium on play in the defensive zone. The Flames have looked the better of the two teams in that regard, but you still have to give credit to the Stars. They may not have as many blocked shots tonight. They don't have the 1,500 landmark that Tanev just hit, but they still have had the ability, and credit to Wedgwood as well, as we both said in our coverage a few minutes ago. They have still kept the Flames from scoring, and this game is still tied. So that late first period goal, it looms large. And this is becoming one of those classic contests where is it a next goal wins kind of situation.
Yeah, it is. And as you said, I think we can think about this too. When you don't have your A game like the Dallas Stars, so you don't have your mark of a good team when you're hanging around and able to keep it within your grasp. Right now in the third quarter, Seattle's got a 28-27 lead over the Dallas Cowboys. They're in Jerry's World. It's 2:56 left to go in the third. I do want to ask Cooper a general question of something that happened relatively recently, and this involves the Minnesota Wild. Again, on the Sunday side, when the Red Wings defeated them, I saw Pat Maroon's comments, and he goes, it's not really on the coach. Everybody here in the locker room, we're not getting it done right now. We're losing points and the standings to the point where if we continue this pace, we're probably not even going to make the playoffs. And Dean Edvinsson was fired after that, and now John Hintz is introduced as the interim coach. I just want to ask you honestly, man-to-man, Cooper, do you think Dean Edvinsson should have been let go?
Yeah, it's a tough call. You know, I think that I think coaches are part of the job is just taking those blows, right? When a team is underperforming, the buck has to stop somewhere. Sometimes, right, if you're at the point where it's been a struggle for many seasons in a row, sometimes you're going to see the buck stop higher, right? When I'm talking about general managers, sometimes it's a little bit lower. Right, sometimes you may see, especially this could be even outside of hockey, right? It might be a position coach, it might be an assistant coach who's responsible for a power play, right? In the NHL, that's where you're really struggling on special teams. But ultimately, this is a bit of a cop-out answer. I think that the timing necessitated the move. I think that he had to be let go, and the comments are understood. And there may be disagreement. I'm curious to know what you think. I just think that because of the way this season had unfolded to that point, it was not a surprise to me, and it's just about the timing. It's just part of the job, and that's they had to pull the plug on it at that moment.
Honestly, I'm going to agree with you about like 95% of it on the way. I think you're absolutely right. It was the timing of it on that side because you didn't want it to go completely south. Because let's be honest, I could ask you the question right now, Cooper, and you could just say yes or no. Did you expect Minnesota to be a playoff team?
I honestly, yes.
Yeah.
I did, and maybe, yeah. That's my simple. I won't belabor it. Simply, yes is the answer.
Yeah, because that's exactly where I'm going with it too. And on that side, for that reason, because they've been falling apart as fast as they have with a long seven-game losing streak at the time you had to make the move. Now, here's the problem for me. The underlying issue is this, and I understand Bill Guerin had to make some moves, and it does go back to Ryan Suter and Zach Parise and the buyouts. Can you imagine how bad things would be, Cooper, if they didn't have Kirill Kaprizov? What would this Minnesota team even do?
You know what? That's an incredible question, but it's also a simple question and a fair question. Obviously he's a very special player, but as dark as it's been for the Wild early, it could be a lot worse, don't you think?
Yeah, it could. And a lot of that stuff has to come with the salary cap situation. And I know Bill Guerin's doing the best he can do, but this team's going to have to fight up against it for the next probably 4 or 5 years until they get out of the dead cap situation between the two big players. And again, you make those moves. I remember back in the college days being at OU on the side of it at Oakland, and I'm thinking, okay, are the Wings going to be involved with Parise and Suter? That's how long ago it was. They go to Minnesota, they go home. Yeah, you get a couple playoff berths, but you get nothing after that, and you still got to pay that long tax after. That's not very fun. And on the other side, I'm looking at the standings, and I saw a couple videos. Again, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I just want to have an open conversation or a second intermission because we haven't worked together in a while. I'm looking at the Ottawa Senators, and I see they have 16 points in the standings, and they're last in the East. But the only thing is, I don't think people will pay attention to this. The Tampa Bay Lightning have just played their 24th game. Ottawa's only played 17. So they still have 7 games to make up on that side. 8-9 record doesn't look very good. But we talked about a little bit when we worked with Alec a few weeks ago on that set for Seattle, and we all made a call. And we mentioned Jay Woodcroft and the firing and everything that I thought. And I know that they got to get the okay for Jay Woodcroft to be able to get another job. And DJ Smith has been the head coach for Ottawa over the last few years. I know they got Brady Tkachuk, they got Tim Stützle, they got Sanderson, a ton of other talent there. They brought in Jonas Korpisalo. You and I admitted we didn't know if that was going to work that way. But they have a ton of games to make up on that side. Things could be different. But I'm kind of wondering, I know they're not talking about this now, whether or not Ottawa should be making a coaching change, because I have to believe with or without the DeBrincat trade, Ottawa wanted to be in a bigger mix than being last in the East.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just the situation where you have to, at some point, get results, and you cannot sell
Right.
to your fan base. Hey, it's going to be next year, everybody. Just hang on. It's literally at some point, you just must show progress. And listen, not something that you or the Red Wing fan base is all that familiar with, but you've had to live through some lean years,
Right.
and you've seen those flashes, right? We talked about the last couple of seasons, especially last year. You flirt with a playoff spot for a while. You see the hope rise, and then maybe things fall through a little bit. But the Red Wings are on, I think, a trajectory that the Ottawa Senators would like to be on. And frankly, the Senators should be closer to where the Red Wings are right now than Ottawa is. And so I'm not sure if it's a coaching change immediately or if that really even gets the job done. It's just like we talked about with the Wild. It's part of the job. When you are that person, you have to expect that could be part of the play by management if things aren't going that trajectory. But if the Senators, who, as you pointed out, have only played a relative handful of games, if they can have a nice stretch, if they can win 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6, even 3 out of 5,
Sure.
all of a sudden you're right in the pack, and you are at least in the conversation and moving past some teams around you and looking up with maybe a 2-point cushion at teams right above you who are in that wild card conversation. So it could change very quickly.
Yeah, it could. I just wanted to throw that out there when we're talking about coaches with Dean Evison and then DJ Smith, because I said it last year with you. I know we've worked together a couple of years now on the side of it. That's when Ottawa was bringing in guys like Claude Giroux and trying to move things and take steps forward. And I still really believe in that young core. And yes, I agree with you. I think that they should be farther along than the Red Wings are on that side, considering, hey, the Red Wings never won anything as far as the draft lottery to get somebody as good as Tim Stützle. I love my team, but there is nobody as good as him on the Red Wings. Again, I apologize for that. I just have to call it as it is. It's nice to get those players, but at the same time, when you get those players and you bring other players in, there's expectations that need to be had. And not to mention, they just brought in Michael Andauer. They got a new owner in there and everything. So I think things need to start picking up at the Canadian Tire Center.
Yeah, you would imagine so. And I think that last point you made is a really important one. I think that when you get a new owner, it could be like any business, and obviously it's the hockey business. They're going to want to see results with whatever they've purchased. And if they're not getting the results that they thought they were going to get when they made that purchase, well, you can expect some changes in the staff and in the roster. So, you're an intelligent man, John, when it comes to the game of hockey, and I think that you're seeing things potentially in the future, and really only the players and those coaches have the ability to change those fortunes and try to just climb back a little bit in the standings. I think even jumping 1 or 2 teams could make a big difference. It doesn't have to be, a 6-game winning streak as they catch up in terms of games played. I think just a few wins here to put them in the conversation could make a big difference.
I think so too. I want to shift to the west side because I'm thinking about some teams that have kind of fallen a little bit and some teams that have kind of percolated a little bit. One I definitely got wrong as far as their predictions were the LA Kings. They're 13-4-3 and they're absolutely dominating. Pierre Dubois has done enough. They're starting to win some games at home, but they're still a perfect 9-0 on the road. So definitely got that one wrong with the LA Kings. But honestly, Cooper, on this side, my dark horse was the Nashville Predators. What's going on with them? They've won 6 in a row.
Yep, all of a sudden the Preds are on fire, and the Kings here in my neck of the woods in Los Angeles. Listen, I think we both expected them to be playoff caliber, but you know what? I was seeing on Instagram today this top 16, the teams on the NHL account, and guess who was number 2? The black and silver of the LA Kings, and I think that spot is earned. They have looked really, really good, and yeah, that Dubois Wade. I was about to say Dubois Wade. You sound like that Looney Tunes character over here, John. I'm supposed to be a professional. What's going on? But the PLD trade has looked really, really good, and I think you and I were both a little wary. I think we were both thinking, what are they going to get? This is a player that usually wants out of the situation, but you know what? He's playing with veterans. He's playing in a great city. A great franchise, and he's stepped up his game. And look, he's not the only one. The ageless Kopitar still doing what he does, and the Kings now have that youth that's maturing at the right moment. They could really make some noise as this season gets further down the line.
And let me take a wild guess, a wild stab at from what you saw at number 1. Is it the Blue Shirts?
Wait, pose that question again. I missed part of it. Cut out.
You were looking at the top teams in the NHL from what you said. At number 2 was the Black and Silver and the Kings, but was number 1 the Rangers?
Oh yes, John. Come on, you knew it. You didn't have to ask. It's the Rangers for sure. They have looked so strong, and that's a team we've had so much fun covering them when we get the chance to. And obviously, we remember that we always reference it, that playoff series from a couple years ago. And you know what? They've just been right around it. They talk about teams that make noise in the playoffs. The Rangers have been there. They've been close. I'm thinking back to that Devils-Rangers series. Is this maybe a year? Are we getting ahead of ourselves, John, and thinking that the Rangers could take it to the mountaintop this time?
I was kind of wondering before when we were doing our shows of whether or not the core was getting too old, but then I have to ask you this on this side. Was Peter Laviolette the right guy for the job? Because it certainly seems like they're playing for him.
Yeah, no question about it. After all this discussion of coaches, something's going right there. And, look, it's a long season. We're only partway through here. But, yeah, that's a great observation. I think that there's something to be considered there. And he is motivating that squad. And their play, it shows on the ice. They have that number 1 spot in the NHL's official Instagram, at least, official rankings of the top teams right now.
So right now, I'm looking at it. You know them in the Pacific Division. The top goal-scoring team in the NHL is the Vancouver Canucks. I know it's a blood rival of yours, but what have you liked? What have you not liked? I think Rick Tocchet's done a pretty decent job over there, my friend.
Yeah, you know what? I think that here's what I've liked the most. The fact that they have basically let their stars lead the way, and pretty much put everyone on notice. This is a team that has been so forgettable, right, John? They haven't really been in the mix. Last year, you can make an argument. Yeah, they were flirting then. Could have made a push. Could have made a little bit of a run to get catch that last wild card spot. They were in the conversation. I remember covering those Flames games as we've watched them kind of just flail to the end of the season. But the Vancouver Canucks were in the chat. They were in the chat.
Yeah.
And this time, just what I've liked is the fact that they have taken ownership, I think, of their own destiny. This feels like a team that is not going to fade this time. They have really not even been in the conversation. And then when they have been, I don't know if we really took them seriously. I'm not sure the hockey world fully took them seriously. But from the coaching to the way they handle their offense, John, it's a dangerous team, and I don't expect it to change. I see them continuing to push through, and I expect them to at least win. I'm jumping way ahead. I would expect them to at least win the playoff round this year.
I feel like that could be the case. You and I have been talking about them for years, but you've been a little bit farther ahead than I have because you followed the Pacific Division so closely as you should. Let me get to some other finals. This is actually a big one for another blood rival on that side. The Oilers get a 3-1 victory over the Jets, who have been really good this season. Take a look at that. Ryan McLeod gets his first. Leon Draisaitl on the power play. Darnell Nurse. 3 unanswered goals in the third period. Connor Hellebuck stops 36 out of 38, but Stuart Skinner, that's got to be one of his best starts of the year. Stops 25 out of 26 in the win.
Yeah, and you know what? Don't look now, but I actually saw those replays that you were just describing on the Sportsnet side here during our intermission, and dare I say it, that looked like the Oilers team that I think we were expecting a little more of. They still have just 9 wins, 12 losses. We get it. But as we pointed out, teams can grab, just like we talked about with Canucks a moment ago, teams can grab onto what they believe their destiny should be. And the Canucks grabbed it early, and I don't think they're going to let go. The Oilers, for whatever reason, did not. They were far from it. But with games like they played tonight against a decent Jets team,
yes,
I'm just going to say that they seem to have a different kind of pace. They seem to have a little bit more confidence around the net. And if you're going to get play like that from Skinner, that can change the game in a big way.
Absolutely. Again, the Predators win streak, that ends 6-1 win for the Wild. They get a badly needed win there. Blues take a 6-4 win over the Sabres. The Islanders, their record kind of sounds like the Flames at times. 9-7-6. They win 5-4 from last year. Do you want to split this third period?
Yes, I think that's a good plan. We can see, you know what, we'll see how the game goes. If the Flames just fall off a cliff here, I'll just let you ride it out, and I'll drown in my own tears. But puck drop here for the third period is coming up, and if you want to jump on it, John, go for it.
All right, so I'll jump on, and then we'll get you the rest of the news and caught up. We've got some good intermission discussion. Still got some scoring updates. As this is sent back around the inboards again. And Cooper, thank you for being here with me on this side. It's been a lot of fun per usual. As this is dumped down, and Noah Hannafin will take a look at it. It's Jacob Marchment now for number 55. As we'll take a long flip, we'll see if the Flames can push this the other way. They really took care of that second period, but again, the scoreline stayed the same. I'm the one that called all the goals so far. Cooper Hopkins needs a goal call for the Sea of Red, as this is flipped in here for Wedgwood, and now for Yanni Hakanpää, as this will go left right for the Dallas Stars there in the road whites with the black pants and the victory green trim. It's a sea of red mixing between the yellow and white there for the Calgary Flames, as this is recollected up the backhand across the Flaming Sea. Coleman sent it in for Jonathan Huberdeau, who will waft the pass near the left side boards and pick it up now, as it was Backlund was the one that delivered it. Now the Stars will start it in their own end as Wedgwood takes a look into the neutral zone now, getting the Donov off the drop, as this will be spin and held near the right side boards. But I love the way that Calgary has also played in their own end. Attention to detail, getting the puck out quick. Nazem Kadri, full flight, backhand. Here's a drop to the right side wall. Late arriving Jordan Osterley fires it to the traffic as it's blocked. Hakanpää. And then off the backhand, it's Hannafin near the left side blue line. Will shovel it in deep and behind the cage of Wedgwood. A centering pass from Kadri gets knocked off. Pospisil trying to use the body near the left side boards. Leave it here for Hannafin. Hannafin high into the traffic. It's an outstretched pass. Here's a break opportunity. Pavelski, I think it's knocked down. Somebody got knocked down. Marchment, it's a tripping call against Calgary.
John, I just wanted to make sure I saw this correctly, and I also think our games are in sync now. Do we have a penalty shot coming up right here for Marchment?
I'm not sure if it's a penalty shot, but didn't I say in the third period side, you better look out for some of these breaks. Got right down the middle there for Marchment. That could definitely be called.
I saw a hand pointing to the dot. It looks like Marchment is the only one out on the ice right now. He's talking to Robo, his teammate, at the bench, wiping off the visor. It was Chris Tanev, and he was beaten on that stretch pass. It's going to be a penalty shot for Marchment, John. I'll let you take this thing. Wasn't expecting this, but it's an odd Hopkins hockey game now. Here we go.
So Marchment got the latest goal at 19 minutes of the first. Now he's got a penalty shot opportunity. Can he go 2 for 2 in this game? Right wing side, middle of the slot. Let's go, scores! Mason Marchment on the penalty shot, and the Stars take the lead.
Wow, that is an incredible ripped wrist shot choice. Chris Tanev has had such a good game for the Flames. I don't think he had any other choice but then to try to do what he did on Marchment during that breakaway that led to the penalty shot. And Marchment right there winds up from the high slot and just fires a laser under Markstrom's glove. It is now 3-2. And this is what we talked about, John. Huge second period for Calgary. And we're only less than 2 minutes into the third. All of a sudden, the visitors have the lead.
That is what we talked about. I thought we both hit the nail on the head on that side. Now, all of a sudden, Calgary is up against it. Mason Marchment got a pair of goals. It wasn't that long ago last year they were wondering about his ice time and if he could deliver. Well, Mason Marchment's got 2 goals for the Stars here as the Flames ice it.
Yep, and that penalty shot, you know what? There's something to be said for being confident, keeping it simple, and just putting some mustard on that shot. He fires a seed right to the netting. Marchment couldn't get the glove down in time, close that gap between the blocker and the trapper. As we see the replay there, yeah, Tanev really had no choice. So the Flames were completely beaten on that breakaway, and 3-2. That's the result.
So we will do this draw again. Ruzicka is the one that's still going to stay in the dot. See who it is for Dallas on that end. Again, Calgary 21-14 shot board advantage, but now Dallas is taking the lead as Mason Marchment scored his second. This time on the penalty shot, Fox up. Send it across for Niels Lundqvist. So bottom line's out there for Peter DeBoer's squad as Dallas now out in front. They're trying to take a 2-1 lead in the season series with a final game. They've met 3 times in the month of November. Flub puck. It's Dubé now. As this is right down the middle for AJ Greer. His outstretched stick will go to Wedgwood. He didn't play that one clean. And again, for Wedgwood, it's fine right now. He's got the lead, but I don't really see confidence with that puck play right now. As this is picked up off the backhand, Dennis Gilbert trying to pry it loose near the right side of the wall. It's Greer. His sauce can't find Dubé. And this will be the right side blue line for Dallas. Outstretched near the right side wall, Robo will spin and turn. Markstrom now will settle it down. Tanev, he gets hit pretty good. Stays on his feet. Pavelski pried it loose. Robertson and Markstrom will fall on it.
Yeah, John, so we are seeing what I don't think we predicted it outright, but again, we always talk about narratives. We talked about a few narratives tonight. And this has become one now where the Flames, they have the run of play, and all of a sudden, in 1 or 2 shifts, we've literally said that phrase, haven't we? In 1 or 2 shifts, the Stars, they make you pay. If you cannot get that lead, they are an elite team. They will come right back, and that's what they have done. Only 14 shots, but they're up 3-2.
Yeah, we'll see what answer the Flames can provide here. Again, they have not played a bad game. And some of these games that they've lost lately that I've watched, Flames have actually played pretty well. Even in that game against the Avalanche, where they didn't end up pulling out a victory on the weekend side, but now it's the Dallas Stars. Again, they've been dealing with a lot of central action lately. Alongside with the Nashville Predators, as this flipped around for Hockenpot. And across the Flaming Sea now. Great skate there for Robo. This time he doesn't like to shoot. Now he throws the body out there. Try to pry the puck loose, and Mangiapane will kiss it off the glass, but this goes in the crowd on a play.
Yeah, so here's what we're seeing, at least in my estimation, John. So after that breakaway from Marchment, that of course leads to the penalty and the penalty shot, which, boy, I'm trying to remember, my friend. We've done a number of games together. I can't remember exactly. Has there been a penalty? Have we covered a penalty shot? Maybe one before, but this is certainly only one that I can remember. And the Flames, the play's gotten a little choppy here. A lot of stoppages. Flames not really getting into the flow yet, though there is still 6:20 to go. I'm stepping all over your toes. Back to the play-by-play, my friend.
Oh, Cooper, I'm going to ask you a question and get back into it. I know it was the first game that we did back in the Flames sided for the Settledom, but Johnny Gaudreau got a penalty shot and the Flames win.
Oh, my God. See, this is why I need you around, pal. You have the memory. You have the knowledge. You have the steel trap of a mind in all ways, especially when it comes to hockey. What a memory. And there's a snapshot right there by the Flames, trapped down by Wedgwood. As I'll give you back play-by-play duties with just under 16 to go here in the third. Flames need one to tie this thing.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that with Johnny Gaudreau, with a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The last one that I can remember, at least. But again, it doesn't happen very often on that side. Again, good traffic out in front. His back was trying to find a screen for Wedgwood. Try to push him out of the way, did Scott?
Yeah, a little exchange there. Just a little forward goalie back and forth. But interesting here on the Sportsnet side, Wedgwood's actually 0 for 3, 0-3 and 0 against the Flames in his career. Has never won against Calgary. That is at least in position to change right now. Face-off win in the O-zone for the Flames. The shot is right on. And again, I steal play-by-play duties from John. That was Tanev for putting one in the breadbasket of Wedgwood. Another save on the Flames' 24th shot of the night.
Well, I think we saw the same thing there, and you might have saved me because I appreciate it because Sportsnet feed was starting to freeze.
Hey, you know what? This is a strange night. Normally, I'm the one with the technical difficulties, but you got one on your scorecard tonight. So we're back underneath the action, though, and jump back in. I can always save you if you need me to, but you got this thing.
So Hanifin, he lets a shot go. Here's a chance off the rush, and this goes high off the right side wall. It's good active stick chops. Connor Zary, good drop pass. This will be Hanifin now. Find the entry for Kadri. Oh, flutter one across. It was going to be a tough catch nonetheless. Zary trying to provide a stick at it alongside Pospisil, and now this is near the right side dot. Zary off the backhand. He's patient, working his way off the forehand now. Right side in the high slot now, Rasmus Andersson. He can certainly get the offense going. Keeps it in there, Zary. Good pass. How is that not a penalty call? As this is sent the other way. Flames still have it. It's Weegar near the right side. Now looking for a backhand short side, and Kadri has it. It's MacKenzie Weegar, right side dot fake. The slapper sent it across. Sharangovich. Now Nazem Kadri by the gauge. Wrap around, and Wedgwood says no.
Boy, a couple of things here, John. That is, first of all, the best offensive shift for the Flames in this period for sure. And even with the second period they had, that was one of the better shifts of cycling and maintaining possession in some time. And then Kadri, with his best play of the game, gets his stick free, tries to wrap hard to the far post on the backhand. Wedgwood reads it perfectly, plays it like a 1A goaltender, and stones him.
Like what I'm seeing right now, again, I can't help but mention that second line, that Connor Zary line with Kadri and Pospisil. I think they make things happen. I really like that. I'm sure Ryan Huska does as well. This is cleared hard off the glass. Is this going to be iced against Marchment? Yes, it is.
Yeah, boy, I'm just going back, John, to that wraparound attempt. The Flames have done that a few times tonight. You know, that's got to be something that they work on. Obviously, it's in the bag of any NHL forward, but some like it more than others. Kadri, we see him do that from time to time, and boy, he made that look good. And if Wedgwood overplays it, comes to that near post too hard, that's a 3-3 game, but great stop by the Stars netminder.
So Elias, Lindholm, Joe Pavelski, a pair of assistant captains trying to get the draw. And it's Elias, the one that wins it clean. Rasmus Andersson, good touch pass. Back in the defensive end. Again, I've seen the entries for both of these teams look pretty clean at times. And knowing exactly what they want to do in the offensive end. This has been a well-played game. Mason Marchment's got the definitive answer right now. The penalty shot turned over, and this is a couple stick lifts to deny Mangiapane with a sure chance right in the middle of the slot. Here's a bounce pass, nicely played in between the skates of Joe Pavelski. And you'll just gain the red line and fire it down. Jacob Markstrom will settle it here for Noah Hanifin and flip this pass across. See what happens about gaining the entry. Chris Tanev will go ahead and do so. Go ahead and take his change. Jonathan Huberdeau. Pinned Dallas Stars against the wall and behind the cage, trying to pry it loose off a hit. Turnaround shot gets blocked. Got to be careful here. This could be an opportunity off a one-on-one. Hits the outside of the post. 13:30 left to go in the third. Dallas now has it off a chance. And this is played by Calgary. Jonathan Huberdeau able to get this one down. And Essa Lindell will put it and across the red line. Some end-to-end action. Dallas has come pretty close, but they do have the lead now. Roddick Foxa, Sam Steele takes down one of the Flames. Good work there to get right back up and get in the play. Here's a fluttering pass, but this goes just too far for MacKenzie Weegar. He's got a back pedal. And across the red line, this will get flipped in now. Weegar almost turns it over right in the middle of the slot. But the Flames are there to provide some support. It's Pospisil. Kadri. Kadri gets upended near the referee, almost knocked him into the player's bench as we still press on. Pospisil. Pass middle of the slot. This one gets blocked up high as it's Connor Zary trying to get a stick look near the left side dot. Kadri pries it loose. It's centered out. Here's a broken twig. Tanev gets back onto the ice, and shot might have hit that stick that was on the ice. as it's 12:25 thereabouts left to go in the third. John out here alongside Cooper Hopkins. It's been a very entertaining contest. Niels Lundqvist fire it in. Calgary will play it back in their own end and look to start again. So go Flames go chant right now at Scotiabank Saddledome, and probably some ref chants as well on that side. As it's Sharangovich, Mangiapane on the forehand. He's driving. He scored a goal that looks similar like this, as it's Sharangovich now. And with Mangiapane, it's stuck in between both of them. Good work by Lindholm. Now that stick is right in the middle of that circle. You got to be careful there. That could stop anything the Flames are trying to do. But now with the puck out of play, they can clean up the mess.
Yeah, John, now it's officially a Hopkins and Ott hockey production. We have sticks on the ice that are coming into play. And boy, oh boy, we get the replay on the Sportsnet side of Marchment looking behind his right shoulder as that snapshot comes through, rings off the iron. Goalie's best friend right there. That's the only reason this is still a one-goal game. And I'm not trying to be a homer as we hit the commercial break. I think there have been not one, not two, but three potential penalty calls that could have resulted in power plays from the Flames that went unwhistled. We had a high stick and a couple of different trips that I saw.
Yeah, Connor Zeri was the latest one that I saw on there, and you're right. I called one of the trips during the play-by-play, especially too. So I'm right there with you. We're almost at the halfway point now. So if you want to just take the switch and finish the game off, more than welcome to do so, my friend. This is going to be a good one. I expect it to be tight. I'm going to go ahead and say OT.
Well, I like that confidence. I mean, the Stars are hanging on here, and like we said, it could have easily been double of that lead. It could have been 4-2 if it weren't for that post. If you don't mind, John, if you just want to go through those last couple of scores that we missed, I just need to exit for a moment. I will be right back, and we'll jump back into this thing.
Okay. So in the first period, that was the most of our goal scoring at 4:51. It was Thomas Harley, his fourth from Joe Pavelski and Jason Robertson. Good pass from Pavelski and Hill. Slot got Harley wide open. He finished it off. And then Tanev, after a great drive from Andrew Mangiapane behind the cage, he takes a shot. It bounces off a Dallas body, goes in. Flames tie the game at 1. 15:30 marker. Much of the same. Another bounce off in front of a Dallas body, but Calgary made it happen, pushing the puck in the offensive end. Hanifin his fifth from Coleman and Backlund. 3 straight defensive goals. Mason Marchment, 19-minute marker of the first. His fifth from Miro Heiskanen and Tyler Seguin as he ripped the shot. Past Markstrom, nothing in the second when Cooper called that side. And then 1:49, it was a Tanev trip. They had to do it as Marchment broke right down the middle of the ice. Got his sixth and his second of the game on a penalty shot.
All right, perfect timing, John. I am back, and we have 11:45 here to go in the third period, 3-2 lead for Dallas. We can switch back again. I feel like I'm taking too much play-by-play time from you. I stole a couple of plays while you were on it, but I'll just keep rolling right now as these Calgary Flames need a goal to tie this thing. Here's Huberdeau with the puck, and he tries to send this one through the slot from the far half boards in the O-zone. Nice job right there, but the pass just didn't have full pace on it, and it was taken away by the Stars. But Rasmus Andersson, top defenseman for the Flames, going to skeet this one all the way through. He's got the puck on his forehand, fires a shot, and it goes just wide on the glove side and Wedgwood's net. 11:11 to go in the third. 26 shots for the Flames, 14 for the Stars, and they are ahead 3-2 as the Flames are going to cycle this one back around. The near glass is Gilbert, sends it around the far corner. Boy, and a reverse check right there. Great job by Sam Steele to feel the pressure, and he put one of the Flames down on their behinds. That's a nice job by Sam Steele right there. So here comes Zeri. Zeri again with a good game so far tonight. It's been a little quiet in the third, but the puck's held in by the Flames. They look for a pass there. Good stick lift by Robertson with a little entry shot right there. Flutters it along to Markstrom, and he'll step out of his net to pick up that puck. Flames now going to keep an eye on that clock as we're nearing the halfway point of this third period. Cooper Hopkins on play-by-play currently, along with the one and only John Ott, the master of all things hockey, and he remembered that penalty shot from Johnny Gaudreau, one of my favorite players ever. I did not. What's that all about? At least I'm getting Harley and Hanley right now for the Stars, the two defenders who are wearing white and green tonight. As Lindholm fires this one through, it's deflected off a body. That was Yanni Hakanpää in the way, doing his best Chris Tanev impression, who crossed the 1,500 career shot block mark tonight for Calgary. Such impressive stuff from that defenseman for the Flames. And now inside 9:45 to go in the third, the Stars are going to carry this one out through the neutral zone. Robertson on a long shift there, going to dump it in and go for the change. Marchment with that big paddle corrals the puck for his teammate Noah Hanifin. Hanifin's going to pass this one along, and a little dipsy-do right there. Coleman pulls it back. This one is going to be onside, almost an icing there, but it was just within the reach of the Stars, so the referees wave it off. And now in the neutral zone, Andersson back out for another shift. He's going to send this one to Backlund. Backlund couldn't maintain possession, but the Flames do hold it in their own end. Now Huberdeau on the puck. He's skating 1-on-2. Going to have to dump this one in and circle back. It's picked up there by the Stars. They will skate this to the neutral zone, and it's 1-on-1. Weegar playing defense on Benn. Benn circles back at the far half boards. He sends it around on the backhand pass. It's left right there. Marchment makes a save, and another closes the door at the 5-hole. That was a beautiful backhand pass, followed by a second backhand pass. Then Marchment denies the Stars twice. His biggest saves of the game right there, John. Boy, you got all the goal calls, but I got Marchment looking really good right there and keeping his team in this thing. Now the puck is loose. It's Zary. He's battling right there against Hockenpah. Hockenpah wins that battle and ties up the youngster of the Flames. And here come the Stars the other way. Boy, they've been so good on the counterattack. Very dangerous, and they sure got that penalty shot from a nice breakaway that led to the Marchment sniper goal. Now here comes Zary from the dot on the near side. This one is loose in front. Wedgwood can't find it. He's been handcuffed multiple times tonight. Not able to catch that thing in the trapper. And now we have the play whistled down, John. I think it's going to be the second power play of the game. A slash against Sam Steele with a fantastic, almost Sam Bennett-esque mustache right there. Tell me what you're seeing on your side, my friend. Back and forth action right there.
Oh my goodness. Tyler Seguin and Matt Duchene. That back pass between the legs was something spectacular. But Jacob Markstrom says, I'm going to make two marquee saves and keep my team in the game and also get a power play for Calgary.
Oh, John, I'm taking a breath. And I mean, I don't listen, even if these were two neutral teams right there. That looked like a video game. You don't see that every day. That was incredible skill. Not only did we get one backhand pass to center it toward the slot, we got the second backhand pass consecutively.
Yes.
But Markstrom comes across two huge stops. That was a big sequence.
That was absolutely incredible. Let's give you another scoring update. Dallas Cowboys have the ball, but they are down 35-30 with 5:20 left to go in the fourth. Geno Smith, 20 out of 32, 291 yards with 3 touchdowns and a pick. Dak Prescott, 287 with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, we both have been keeping an eye on that game. That's a really competitive one. 5:20 to go in the fourth. In the red zone are the Cowboys. I think they're 15 yards out. The big receivers just having huge nights for both squads. CeeDee Lamb looking great for Dallas, and Metcalf absolutely going off for Seattle. 3 touchdowns for number 14 in blue, 134 yards. And on the other side, that's CeeDee Lamb, 12 receptions, 116 yards and a touchdown. It's going to go down to the wire. Could be who has the ball last. As now driving are the Cowboys. They're down to the 7-yard line, 2nd and 2. If they score here, they'll take the lead. We will see what happens. The Seahawks really need this thing to stay in the playoff race. Anyway, I'm just talking too much about the Seahawks. How about Jacob Markstrom tonight, keeping his team in this game?
And that was about as good as it gets as far as stopping the puck. Those are the 2 best saves of the game, bar none. Again, I talked about it in the first power play opportunity. As you see this slash against Mangiapane, take the stick out of the hand. Gave a lot of space for the Flames here. We'll see if they can make an adjustment, maybe push in a little bit more and get more shots.
Yes, indeed. So Kadri loses the offensive zone draw on this power play, but then the Flames do a great job of checking down low, going to get this possession back. They're 0 for 1 tonight on the power play, though. It was a very productive one. They had 4 shots and held possession in the O-zone almost the whole time. Now a big slapper comes out from the blue line, I should say, to behind the net. Hockenpah gets into it right there with Huberdeau, and they fall into the net. It comes off its moorings, so we will get a stoppage right here.
Again, as you said, the face-off is going to be ultimately important here. I like the power play line there and the mix between Zary and Kadri. Huberdeau in there as well. This could be the best last chance of the game there for the Calgary Flames. They've had the puck possession, they've had shots, but again, I'll just go back to it. That first power play was a lot of shots, a lot of work. They got to get in a little bit closer. I think they'll tie it up.
Yep, and thanks to the Sportsnet stats folks, the Dallas penalty kill has been entirely successful against the Flames this year, except for one. The Flames are 1 of 9 against the Stars in their meetings so far. Less than a minute and 20 now in the man advantage for the home team. 7:25 on the game clock, and yeah, you're right, John. Even though there looks to be a little bit of a cushion left on that game clock, it's going to go quickly. And the Flames have to capitalize here, especially with so few penalties called, and the Stars playing so well at even strength. So half the power play gone now, just as I say that. 55 seconds to go. The Flames look for a back pass in the O-zone. It flutters over to Kadri. He's going to get it to Hannafin. Hannafin playing that quarterback up near the blue line, going to get it across. There's a snapshot. The rebound comes out off the blocker, and Kadri couldn't settle it. He did have about half a net open, and he had a shot. Would he have been able to settle that bouncing puck? Unable to do so off the tough carom. And now here come the Flames to the neutral zone on the stick of Zary, getting some power play time. Going to try to carry this thing down low, but he's dispossessed, and a good full ice length clear right there, all the way back down to Marchment. And a little bit of forechecking from Wyatt Johnston, who's on the PK for the Stars. So 15 seconds now. This has been a very different power play than the first one for Calgary. Zary doing a good job holding the puck at the near boards, looking for a teammate. Holding. Going to go back to Weegar now. Now back to Zary. Zary from the face-off circle. Going to send this one in. And a shot from Mangiapane way up between the circles goes skying over the crossbar. And now we are back at even strength. So Steele comes out of the box, and Wedgwood gets into position, stops a wrister from Captain Michael Backlund with the glove. Makes that one look easy. No fumbling there. And with their 30th shot, the Flames still just with 2 goals, John. 3 goals for the Stars. The ever-important 1-goal lead still intact.
And I was wondering, as we talked about with the Flames power play, what adjustments would we see from the kill line there for the Stars? Well, you saw that. A little bit more press, a little bit more to deny shooting lanes for the Flames. Not as much wheeling and dealing there on that power play.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Stars are really locking things down here. So, like I said, they've been doing it at even strength, and they did it right there on special teams, killing that penalty, the second against them tonight. Flames, it's worth mentioning, no penalties so far. 5:40 to go here in the third. They're not thinking about special teams. They're thinking about anything, just getting something special in any way in the offensive zone as they get possession right here. It looks like Mangiapane was offside there. Yeah, that was pretty obvious. He takes a stride into the offensive zone well too early. Play will be whistled down here, John. 5 minutes, 31 seconds to play. Okay, we're going to get that commercial break. What are your thoughts, my friend? Do the Flames have a chance here, or are the Stars just locking it down too hard?
They look like they're locking it down right now as we're going into our final TV timeout. And a good marker for the Stars to point out from the Sportsnet crew is in their 8-1-1 record that they've had on the road, they've given up 2 goals or less, trying to make it 9-1-1 in the season if they can hold on to this 1-goal lead. But yeah, the Flames are in a situation now where they're going to have to press a little bit and make an answer to Dallas's defensive prowess. We'll see if they can do it.
Yep, and you know what? Since we got the break and since we have been making so much about that Thursday night football game, it's been a good one. They're not always great, but it is a 38-35 lead now for the Cowboys. It's 1st and 10 for the Seahawks after the kickoff with 4:37 to play. Seahawks have 2 timeouts. Cowboys with all 3. Those you would assume would come into play here. So the Seahawks, if they can get a drive put together and at least get a field goal, they would tie this thing. Another touchdown. Boy, it could be by Metcalf. What if he has 4 tonight? That would be just unbelievable. But definitely a good football game going on. But you know what? This game, no slouch, John. It's another great matchup between the Flames and Stars. It's been a good contest.
Yeah, at least I can feel good that this game wasn't a complete dumpster fire, because I'd feel bad because it looks like you're missing a classic football game. I don't have Amazon Prime, so you're going to have to give me the radio highlights if anything happens.
I'll try to keep an eye on it, but no way. Listen, I'm not kidding. I wouldn't take this chance. I wouldn't toss it away. You know, I love the Seahawks. I'm a Seattle sports guy, but this is a really fantastic contest, I think, between the Flames and Stars, as I think we knew it would be. And I don't mind, regardless of what happens here, I do not mind at all taking this evening and spending it with you. This has been a good one.
I appreciate it, my friend. Let's get a Flames victory. Don't got a lot of time left.
Okay, you can hear it. I just from your mouth to the hockey god's ears, and now the Flames have it in the offensive zone. It's on Tanev's stick. He was going to try to get a wrister off right there from up top of the circle, but he had to circle back. And now Backlund has the puck. I've said circle a couple of times. I said back a couple of times. And now guess who has it in his? Michael Backlund. Now Jonathan Huberdeau will pick up, and on his forehand sends it across to Hannafin. Butters one in, and John just scored. It is the Calgary Flames tie of this game late in the third. 5:01 on the clock. It is 3-3, and they are getting it done, John. It's another huge contest between these two squads.
So if you knock again, does that mean we get another goal? The captaincy finds a way to get it done. It was good work for the Flames. They keep it in toward the right side faceoff dot, just trying to pry it loose. And right in the high slot off of a tipping deflection there, Backlund. That is perfect. As Hannafin lets it go, Backlund's right there. No chance for Wedgwood. Top of the barn in.
Yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. Backlund with veteran presence in front, and he got high sticked on the play by Heiskanen, but says, you know what? It doesn't matter, my friend. I'm going to put the middle of my stick shaft right in the lane of this shot, and it's going top shelf. I thought that was Hannafin's goal, but great read by you. That was Backlund with the deflection up high over Wedgwood's glove, ties this game. But, John, it wouldn't be without some drama, right? This is a moment that we should have expected. It's a John Ott, Cooper Hopkins production. We do have a little bit of a conversation going on at the Stars bench with one of the referees. Is there any reason why this should be taking place?
I didn't see anything initially, my friend, as far as what we got, but Peter DeBoer was talking about it. They're looking at it with Backlund now. Referees are still looking at this right now, so we're not sure yet if this goal is going to stand.
Wow, so I think I just caught that off of your audio, John. You want to catch us up? The referees are looking at this. There is an official coach's challenge.
It looks like they're challenging a hand pass.
Now that, okay, let's just review this because I believe we both have it pretty much locked down the way the hand pass rule goes. So at any point during the offensive possession, right, for the Flames, if a hand pass continues their control of play or their control of the puck, that can be challenged by the coach. Am I getting that correct?
Yes, and that could essentially blow this play dead and put the goal as null.
Interesting. You're right. Yeah, I think you're right. So we are reading that correctly, at least in terms of the way the rule is written. And I'm seeing it's going to be a challenge as we get the Sportsnet replays here. Looked like a clearing attempt by Heiskanen as Huberdeau throws a nice check right there. Puck flutters off of the corner glass, and was it Backlund reaching for the puck and then ultimately passing it to himself? I'm trying to see. It looks like it bounced off of his glove, then off the glass, maybe off the dasher. That seems like a lot of bounces to me, but I'm not sure about the rule in its exact description. Any thoughts from you, my friend?
No.
I'm not describing that too well.
It would. No, you would be right. But the only thing is after it goes off the glass, I saw it hit the back of Backlund's right leg. That is legal. He just couldn't take the puck and glove it down with his hand. And it doesn't look like he did that. I think we should have a goal here.
Yep, and I'm going to, if you want to, turn your audio up here. We're going to get the call.
All right, so we're going to get the official call here in a moment. They're calling a hand pass. It looks like we're not going to have a goal. My goodness.
Wow. Well, listen, that is a tough pill to swallow right there. Maybe it's because of my naivete. I do not agree with that call. That certainly looked like he never had the puck in his glove.
No.
It deflected off of his arm or his fingers and bounced off the glass. There's too much going on there, really, for me to think that's a direct hand pass. That's a really rough call, John.
Cooper, in all honesty, just looking at this as objective as I can, I don't even know how you can overturn that, to be honest.
Yeah, that is a really wild turn of events. I mean, I guess if I'm trying to be positive and keep this thing neutral, credit to the coaching staff, the video team on the Stars side. As here comes Zary. He's in the circle, tries to back this thing up on the back end. send it around to the trapezoid. We're back in play. John and I still a little bit stunned by that turn of events right there as Dubé swings it around the end boards. Going to go to Kadri, tries to go right back to Rasmus Andersson, but a good skate right there by one of the Stars, and Dallas will take over. Yeah, John, I cannot imagine why. Now, hang on, I got to keep playing this game. So Dubé, he actually does a good job on the forecheck, holds the puck in momentarily until it's cleared by Dallas. Weegar now back to chase it down for the Flames. Zeri's still out there. He tries to stick handle around some of the Stars. Man, here come the Flames. They look extra motivated right now. This game should be tied, but somehow it is not. A controversial overturn right there. The video team for the Stars saw the potential hand pass. My goodness. Apparently someone in Toronto in the control room did as well, as there's Hannafin with a wrist shot right on, but turned aside pretty easily by Wedgwood's right pad. Under 4 minutes to play now. Almost twice as many shots for the Flames as the Stars at 31-16, but the Flames are still down by a count of 3-2. Now Marchment, way out of his net here, he picks up the puck in the right circle, and it's going to go to Backlund. Backlund, who should be the goal scorer. He was denied by a coach's challenge. Once again, a very controversial series of events here as Rasmus Andersson going to backhand this one along to Lindholm. Now Lindholm gets it over to Backlund. Backhand, try to backhand it across ice and bounced off Weegar. Weegar's going to hold it. He skates it in. Back pass right there. And Wedgwood stops what should have been the tying goal. Coleman streaking in. How did he save it, John?
I have no idea how he slid from the left to the right post, but that's essentially the game right now in a nutshell. Flames should have one. Flames probably could have a 2-goal lead at that point. Wedgwood, he must have just guessed from left to right. That is a gorgeous pass from Weegar. Coleman tries to lift it, and Wedgwood says no.
Oh my goodness, that is just a boy. Talk about back-to-back tough pills to swallow. One, thanks to the referees, and one, just thanks to your opponent. Wedgwood has been fantastic tonight. You have to say, look, Marchment has made some beautiful saves. This game could have been far more in favor of Dallas, but Wedgwood right there basically keeps the win intact for his team. Now less than 3 to go. Coleman right there on the doorstep, unable to put that thing away. What a pass from Weegar to Blake Coleman, not able to convert. Now, right now, here come the Flames. They are in the offensive zone. That one, boy, just barely held in. And John, have the hockey gods hurt us? After all the controversy, Weegar from distance ties it 3.
Cooper, you cannot be serious. That actually went in. There's no way that Peter DeBoer is challenging this. I'm going to lose my lid. MacKenzie Weegar, he did it against the Vegas Golden Knights. Can he do it again?
That is insane, John. Thank you for letting me take the play-by-play. That puck is sent in from the very back of the blue line. Barely, we're getting a replay right here. Yep, it's cleanly held in by.
It's in.
He floats the puck, and I believe it avoids, sticks along the way, and that one goes up and over Wedgwood, who probably didn't even see it coming. The puck has been dropped, John. No challenge. We're tied. 2:35 to go in the third. Mangiapane keeps it in right now. But the puck is sent to center ice. Noah Hannafin going to pick this one up. He's dispossessed. It's taken right there. Tanev closes down. Good job on the back check. But it's held in and sent off of Lindholm's leg. Bounces up into the netting at the end boards, and we'll get a stoppage. Man, John, I'm trying to catch my breath here. This one's turned into a classic.
Yeah, it really is. I'm really glad that we're able to sync up and do this game because Flames should definitely be ahead. But MacKenzie Weegar, man, he's playing the hero over the last couple. But honestly, the Flames have played a great game, and it deserves to be the scoreline as it is.
Of course, and I have to say, it puts a smile on my face. The hockey gods, I think, recognized that hand pass call was probably not the right one, and they immediately rectify the situation. A floater from the blue line, as far back as you can get, basically, in the offensive zone. That one finds the net past Wedgwood. The assist will go to Huberdeau, and that is another goal by a defenseman tonight, John. It's incredible. What a game it's been for the Blue Liners on both sides. 2 minutes to go now. 34 shots, Calgary, 16 Dallas. Again, Flames doing such a great job of keeping the shot count low for their opponent, but it's 3-3. Drama ensuing here at the Saddledome as Backlund trying to fight off a stick check right there, unable to do so. Stars take over possession, send it into the neutral zone. Good checking right there. I believe that is Zary. I think it was there playing a little defense right near the flaming sea at center ice. Now 90 seconds to go in this regulation. As Chris Tanev can sneak this one down in his own end, picks it up in the far corner, sends it along to Coleman, cross ice right there. This one's going to be banked off of the penalty box boards, and I think an offside whistle has blown. So, John, a minute 23 to go. We got a shot of Marchment, who's been excellent tonight. The Flames find a way to tie it. You called OT. What more are we going to see tonight?
I'm no seer, my friend. I honestly don't even know what to tell you at this point for what we're going to see. I'm just excited with the theater. I'll just be completely honest.
Yeah, you know what? Even though, hey, I'm the diehard Flames guy, the fact that this has been so dramatic has made it even more worth it. Even if it were, 5-0, the Flames are getting smoked. It would have been a fun night calling this game with you. But here we go. A minute 15 on the clock in the third. All knotted, 3 apiece. Picked up there by the Stars in their own end. That one is taken by Johnston. Johnston, I've only said his name a couple times tonight, but he's out there right now. And the Flames are going to try to pick up at center ice. They do. Mangiapane on his backhand floats this one, and Wedgwood comes out and touches it down to the near corner. It's held right there. Inside a minute to go now. 3-3 again. I'll keep saying it. Late goal by Weegar from way out at the blue line gets this game knotted up, and I think we may have an icing here with 46.7 to go. Could be an offensive zone draw coming up for Calgary.
Yes, we do. And I think, honestly, you're at this point, if you're Ryan Huska, I know you'll probably put them on an overtime line should we get there. But the Pospisil, Zary, Kadri line, we'll see if they'll match up against the Robertson, Pavelski, Hintz line at some point.
Yeah, that's a great observation as the puck has been dropped, now picked up. It's a one-on-one. Here comes Dallas. It's Robo against Weegar. Two of the best players on each squad. That's a great stick check by Weegar. Gets it away from Jason Robertson. Now the puck on the Flames stick. They have less than 30 to work with here. Here comes Mangiapane. He's in his favorite spot, working up that left wing. Tries to send it in, chipped it to himself, but can't collect in the near corner. It is picked up by Calgary, bouncing in the offensive zone, and the Flames try to keep it in. That was Lindholm, but it bounces off of Dallas. And now in their own end is Calgary, less than 10. Tanev going to take this behind Marchment. Looks like, John, you were right, my friend. 2-1-0. Extra hockey coming up.
Well, you know what? It would have been an injustice here, honestly, if Calgary didn't at least pick up a point in this game. I thought this has been one of their better games. Honestly, I think this has been one of the better regular season games I've seen so far this year. I've thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah, we've had the opportunity to call just a small handful so far in the season. I know we'll pick up more and more as we get further into the year. But man, oh man, this has absolutely been a barn burner. The Flames looking good. I keep going with all the Flames puns. I don't mean to, but they have really looked good tonight. And you're absolutely right. You said it. They definitely deserve at least 1 point here. And man, oh man, if they could get that extra point, John, all of a sudden, like we said at the top of this game, they are even in the standings. In their record.
Yeah.
And for their mindset, I think that goes a long way as the Calgary Flames try to push out of the cellar.
Yeah, I think this team has shown a heck of a lot more battle than anything that we saw last year. I mean, we were bemoaning the fact that they would get down and they never had any comeback wins. Don't they already have about 4 of them this year?
I think you're right. It's I love Derek Wills, the broadcaster for the Flames on the Fan 960 in Calgary. He's their play-by-play man, and once upon a time he coined the phrase "the find-a-way Flames." He has brought that back. Sometimes the Flames, they just find a way. Will they find a way to get the extra point tonight? Listen, I've taken some very exciting moments here on the play-by-play side. Do you feel like you want to jump in for a little OT time?
I can jump in for the OT as long as I don't take it away from you, because if the Flames win, then I would take it away from you, but I can jump in.
No, listen, I think it's only fair. Let's trade it off. I was going to joke if the Flames didn't score or have any big moments that you stole it all tonight, but I think we are dead even, just like this game, my friend. So you jump in there, and I'll knock on wood for you, because you always get those goal calls, and we may have an exciting one coming up either way, or maybe we'll get a shootout. So here we go. It's John on the play-by-play as I step back.
So Seguin, Duchene, and Heiskanen versus Backlund, Lindholm, and Andersson. It's 5 minutes sudden death. Who knows if it goes that long? Heiskanen off the rush, right down the middle. And this goes just behind the net. That almost ended the game in the first 10 seconds. And now Rasmus Andersson, he's got it. And they'll spin back around now as the Flames can take an extra breath. Again, they want to try to change these OTs maybe with the puck possession. I don't think the NHL should change anything. Let these guys take their time and do whatever they want. They got the puck, as this is picked up now for Elias Lindholm, but that's just me. So Lindholm has it now across the Flaming Sea. Send it back here for Rasmus Andersson. He's been out there the whole time. Andersson now, they're the right side dot. Wouldn't it be fitting if it was another defenseman goal? As this is dropped for Nazem Kadri, and he'll send it all the way back here for Jacob. So number 91 has it now for the Flames. They're going to be going left to right in this OT. Kadri, I'll make a drop pass. It goes in! The Flames score!
John! What a way for him to finish. Absolutely unbelievable. I cannot help but laugh. Unbelievable finish right there as Kadri drops it. And look, it wasn't a howitzer. It wasn't a laser. It wasn't a snipe. It was a bit of a trickler, my friend. But Calgary gets it done. I knocked on wood twice, and it led to 2 Flames goals. I might have to do that every time we work together, John. It's a 4-3 win for Calgary.
I got to tell you, man, Cooper, it's always fun to do these broadcasts with you. I know you and I probably both live and die with the Flames. We've done so many. Kadri with a great skate in his own end. Again, it was kind of a flutter there, but he drove the net. He made the right play. And what did Kadri do, Cooper? He went right to the net to try to knock it away from Wedgwood. That's a perfect play for number 91. You love to see it.
Yep. That's a big moment for this team. Their 10th win. Listen, they're not world beaters yet. They don't win the Stanley Cup because of what they did tonight, but it goes a long way, I think, to pushing them in the right direction. And boy, interesting. Jamie Benn having a quick final word there with one of the referees. And are some of the Flames? Oh, John.
Are we doing this again, my friend?
Doing it again. You know what? I can see it as we saw the replay on the Sportsnet side. I didn't want to even say it out loud. Boy, Ben, he's out there with the refs, and they are at the iPad at the scorer's bench. Vladar is still out there. It looks like Rosichka is still out there. The Flames are going to have to come out of the room because are they going to look for potentially goaltender interference here as the shot comes in from Huberdeau? The puck was in or near the glove of Wedgwood, and Kadri's stick, I believe, got tied up. Well, here's the call.
So what are we going to get? I'll turn this up and see if we get something. The Zebras are here. We're waiting to see. They're going to challenge for goaltender interference. If the Flames going to do this again, I don't know. I think I might lose my voice. You might want to run to the dressing room and lock the door.
Man, oh man. We got the winning goal call. We got the commentary. We got this thing finished up. It does look like Kadri's stick shaft gets slightly tied up with Wedgwood's trapper. Is it going to be enough for goaltender interference? It looks like Wedgwood is trying to leverage down toward the puck, which is fluttering behind him. This could go either way, John. And we're going to get the call right now.
It looks like we're going to get it definitively here on the Sportsnet side in Italy. They were thinking for a kicking motion. I didn't see one. So what are we going to get? Good news or bad news? No goaltender interference. Kadri game winner in overtime. Flames take it.
My goodness. Okay, now listen. I need a drink. This is a crazy hockey game. The one call goes against the Flames, the next call goes for them, and it happens to be the overtime game winner. So no interference, nothing done wrong by the Flames, and they get to walk back to the room victors tonight. What a contest, my friend. So thrilled that we got to do basically an instant classic, and these two teams, they just do not disappoint. It was on a knife's edge all the way. Dallas giving up nothing until Weegar puts one in from way out at the blue line. And it looked like that Dallas had won the game 8 seconds into overtime. One flutters past Marchment's net.
Yes.
The Flames come right back, and they get the winner between Huberdeau and Kadri. What a hockey game.
Yeah, this really was an instant classic, and I'm definitely going to go ahead and quantify it as it when it gets uploaded. But I just got to be honest with you. Again, we're glad to be able to call the 2 points. We would call the game no matter the way it is, regardless of how many times we've done the Flames games. But at least I can say this now in a win. That Backlund call for a hand pass, I didn't see it. They must have definitely had some other camera work in Toronto that we didn't get openly, Cooper, because I don't even know how you could go against that.
Yeah, I only really have one word for that call. That's just yikes.
Yeah.
I think that any decent hockey fan is thinking that, and again, regardless of your fandom, of course, I'm sure Stars fans were thrilled with the outcome. But you know what? If it comes down to that, you're calling that a hand pass? Yikes. But look, the hockey gods, they made things right away. They give, just a little bit of a stroke of luck in a split second from MacKenzie Weegar. Again, a ton of goals by blue liners tonight, and then ultimately it takes two of the top forwards on the Flames squad to finish things off. It wasn't a work of art, but John, it still gets the win, and the Flames, they walk away with the 2 points.
Yeah, and honestly, before I let you go here, Cooper, I know I kind of touched on it before, and I know it isn't everything that you want in the standings yet, but the fight, the ability to kind of lead that game and also get, some goals, some finishes. We didn't see a lot of that last year. We saw the Flames kind of push a little bit. They would have spits and starts where they would go ahead and take the pace of play, but they just didn't get the finishing. But then when they get into OT, it was already over at that point last year, but not this year. I really like the way the young players are playing with Pospisil, Zari, and Kadri on that side. Again, Craig Conroy said everything that he was going to do. I think Ryan Huska has done a good job. Who knows where the Calgary Flames are going to be as far as the playoff portion of the race? But as we said in the Pacific, it's wide open right now. And if the Flames keep doing things that they've done over the last stretch of games, I like what I've seen, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you just put, it's not even a spin. I think you just put a great descriptor on what we've seen so far. This is a team that easily could have just let go. This team could have just said, you know what, it's not happening this year. We got changes to our roster. We got a new GM. It just doesn't feel like we want it to feel, and we're not coming together. New captain, you know what, maybe he's not leading us the way we were hoping he would. You know what? The opposite has happened. The Flames have had to show grit. That's what you were just saying. I love the fact that they've been able to show grit. And, a team that's really fighting for it, that's how you get those bounces. It's not magic. I know we said hockey gods. It's not that. It's the fact that you are really putting your best foot forward. And sometimes it doesn't work out. You lose close games where it just doesn't happen. You run into a brick wall with a goaltender. And Wedgwood, that's why I say that. He was very, very good tonight. But Marchment has looked a little bit like his old self. He's making huge saves, especially those two off of those beautiful backhand passes by the Stars in that third period. And, John, here we go. The Flames are back at 500, and they're in the mix right near that wild card positioning. And at least we have something to talk about. It's not an afterthought, and they're not at the top of the standings, but they're right in the mix.
Yeah, it's always good to see. It makes it fun. And again, my friend, I appreciate you jumping in and being able to cover this cast. It was probably one of the better ones of the year, so we definitely got that. And best of luck to you tomorrow. Let's go Huskies.
Thank you. That means a lot. And you know what? Even though no one's expecting the upset from the Hawkeyes, I will say it, make it official. Go blue. Take care of business. You should be in the college football playoff. Of course, I believe that you will be. And hopefully, my friend, we'll both be there. And like you said, maybe we'll have to jump onto the college football call because I don't know how I'll stay impartial for that one. Or you, my friend.
You would have
dang good at that, but that would be the toughest test I think of our lives, at least in terms of calling sports contests. But all the best to you. Thank you for the well wishes. And you're right. Go Dogs and go Blue.
All right. Hopefully, we get to catch up together soon and have a lot of fun with this. I've had a lot of fun working with you. I know Christmas is coming up soon, so hopefully get a couple more broadcasts in before then.
Yes, indeed. We'll be in touch very soon, probably as soon as tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll have some happy messages back and forth after that Pac-12 championship. But, hey, great game tonight. Even though it's not the weekend yet, we're getting close, and this is a great way to start off late in the week, and December coming tomorrow. We'll have many more fun nights ahead, my friend.
Absolutely. Take care, Cooper.
You too, pal. Talk to you soon.
Well, I hope you guys had a lot of fun with that one. That was honestly one of the most entertaining games of the year. Calgary Flames take this one in OT 4-3. They thought they had it a couple more times. They were able to get the definitive 2 points with Nazem Kadri in the OT. We split the call all the way through on that side. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know him and I will catch up quite soon. You guys have a great weekend because I am going to be doing an assignment on Saturday locally for the Waterford Sharks alongside the Blue Water Stars. So I will catch up with you next week. Cooper and I will catch up together very soon. Peace out, everybody. Have a good night.